All right, guys, welcome in. Tonight might be a little more subdued. The information I'm going to share tonight is very heavy. It's dense and it's consequential, and I don't know any other way to say that. It's heavy, it's dense, it's consequential, and I'm going to allow you to draw some conclusions. Going to allow you to draw some conclusions. And I think a lot of you will. I want to start out by stating the obvious. I'm healthy. I exercise regularly. I eat pretty well. I'm not prone to accidents. I did fall from a rope one time and break a leg, but that, hey, I didn't fall off like an 18-story building or something. So, keep that in mind as we talk today. I think the color's called faded crimson or something like that. So I see you guys arguing about the color in the chat. So let me get to it. This is heavy. I don't know any other way to put it. If you I'm trying a new sound setting here. So if you look at or if you hear the clicks and the whatever, just let me know. I'll address it. I think it sounds pretty good, but I tried a different setting last time and I got a lot of complaints. But this is a big call. This is a big show today. I really believe that. I think this is one of those shows where you call your buddy and say, "Hey, you might want to listen to this opening." I think it's one of those shows. Maybe by the end of the show, I'll be happy and joking around again. I'm kind of like one of those. I'm kind of like anyone else, right? I have days where I sound pretty animated and happy and fun, and then I have days where, let's get to it. It's been 3 months to the day since Charlie Kirk lost his life at Utah Valley University. Since that time, two major things have happened. First, the federal government, Utah police, and TPUSA employees have engaged in one of the most intense propaganda campaigns in recent memory. The propaganda campaign has served up a steady diet of nonsensical explanations for how Charlie Kirk died. We're being asked to believe, among other absurdities, that the alleged shooter was a 22-year-old gay man living with a furry who was transitioning from male to female. We're told it was a total coincidence that this alleged instance of pro-trans violence came at the exact moment that noted Charlie Kirk opponent Hunter Kozak was asking a question about pro-trans violence. We're also being asked to believe the shooter carried the rifle to campus on the morning of the shooting in skinny jeans. In support of that absurd position, we're shown a grainy image of a man limping down the street. That he happened to be limping next to Phil Lyman's car and what appears to be a late model 4 is just another coincidence. As is the fact that Phil Lyman was in the house where the footage was taken. It's weird, huh? And on the topic of long rifles and skinny jeans, they refused to date to release video of the alleged shooter climbing the stairs, opting instead to release a few still pictures of his ascent. Skeptics noted the still pictures show him comfortably bending both knees in different images, contrasting sharply with the video allegedly of the same individual limping just before he reaches campus. We're shown pictures of the alleged shooter in at least 3 different outfits before the shooting. No explanation has been offered for the 3 changes of clothes in 3 hours. Governor of Utah, flanked by FBI Director Kash Patel, told us the shooter changed his clothes on the roof before taking the shot. I have that video. I'll play it tonight. Again, no explanation has been offered for this 4th set of clothing. We're told the shooter assembled the rifle on the roof before taking the shot. They pinky swear it's true, even if they refuse to release video of him changing clothes or taking the shot. We're told a .30-06 rifle was found near the scene. The rifle allegedly contained inscribed bullet casings with pro-trans and leftist memes. The New York Post released an image of a .30-06 that the world assumed was the murder weapon. It later turned out it was not the 100-year-old family heirloom turned alleged murder weapon, but a modern version of a .30-06, complete with a synthetic stock and a different optic. In other words, the picture the New York Post released looked absolutely nothing like the one allegedly used by the shooter. But that pesky difference didn't stop Tyler Robinson's dad from immediately suspecting his son, who had inherited a completely different 30-06 from his granddad. We're told Charlie had the neck of Superman. His vertebrae were like titanium. They stopped a 30-06 in a manner the surgeon could only conclude was a miracle, an actual miracle, a sign from heaven itself that Charlie's final act would be heroically saving the lives of those behind him. And the miracle was needed, of course, because as the surgeon himself noted, 30-06 stopped by so little tissue. The surgeon told the TPUSA team that rounds of this caliber routinely take down multiple elk, blasting through many feet of dense muscle, tissue, and bones before leaving a gaping exit hole in the back of elk and moose. But not Charlie. The bullet arrived at the very few inches of incredibly soft tissue on the side of Charlie's neck, and then the bullet miraculously lost all force. It took a sharp left turn, then went straight up, then went straight down, finally lodging just beneath his skin. A miracle indeed. We're told Charlie's chief of staff, Mikey McCoy, who turned and walked away just under a second after the sound of the gunshot, was amazingly cool in the moment. A general. So cool, he called 3 people in under 90 seconds. He arrived at the hospital and took complete command, ordered private jets to go pick up friends and family. He talked to doctors and conveyed critical information to Charlie's wife. He even dialed up the vice president of the United States for some reason. We'll talk about it more tonight. But there he was, General Mikey McCoy. We're told TPUSA spokesman Andrew Gov't released text messages from 2 days before Charlie passed, where Charlie says Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes, leaving him no choice but to leave the pro-Israeli cause. But we're also told Charlie didn't mean it. We're told Andrew Gov't turned those texts over to the feds in the wake of Charlie's death because Gov't found them relevant, but we're not told why. We know why. And all of that is the first part of the propaganda campaign. It's a relentless assault on common sense and common decency. But here's part 2. It's tried and true. We've seen it perfected in big stories like the JFK assassination, 9/11, and COVID. You either accept the official narrative or you get called stupid, evil, crazy, or worse. It starts off with simple name calling. If you don't get the message, it escalates quickly. Your morals get questioned. You get accused of trying to hurt people. You get accused of trying to sabotage good things. You are working for Satan himself. Words are put in your mouth. They will stop at nothing to destroy you, and they'll blame you for it happening. In other words, the beatings will continue until morale improves. They owe you nothing, and you'll like it. You can accept the official narrative or not, but what you cannot do is question it. If you don't believe it, shut your mouth, go away, do something else. But do not speak against the official narrative or else. Well, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying any of it. I have almost zero doubt that Tyler Robinson was tangentially involved and thought he was part of a plan to neutralize Charlie Kirk. I'll admit that. But I'm not for 1 second buying that he planned and executed this alone. And the more information that comes out, the more it becomes obvious to me that the story doesn't add up. There's the pic of the person they intended to frame as the shooter in a full sprint, less than 3 seconds after the gunshot. From prone position with an optic in his eye and his finger on the trigger, balancing the gun in his hand because he has no tripod and no sandbags, to a full sprint with the alleged rifle carefully wrapped in a towel in under 3 seconds. I don't buy it. I don't think they intended us to see that footage of him in a full sprint so quickly. Then there's the video of Tyler Robinson, what looks like a rendezvous several miles away, just 15 minutes after the shooting. He pulls into a parking lot, calmly waits for a full minute for a white SUV to pull up behind him, and then they drive off together. It's clear those 2 cars were together, the alleged shooter in the white SUV. And there may also have been a third vehicle, another SUV that drove off with them. I don't think they intended for us to see that footage either. Then there's Tyler Robinson calmly downing some chicken tendies and washing it down with a soda at Dairy Queen on the other side of town 6 or so hours after the shooting. It was weird. And I don't think they intended for us to see that footage either. There's also the footage of Mikey McCoy, the weird sermons from his father, Rob McCoy, the absolutely insane statements by Blake Neff, trying in vain to shut down criticism. His insane statements, Neff's anyway, by the way, seem on their face to contradict each other, but that's somehow a really small detail in this story. And then there was yesterday. In my opinion, Candace Owens dropped a nuke yesterday. And for those who didn't catch it, I wrote all this before I saw her show today. So bear with me. I'm going to build on what she said. I go way beyond what she said today, but some of this is going to be recapped for those of you who watched her a couple hours ago. For those who didn't catch it, an alleged source contacted her with what seemed, on its face, like a fairly believable series of events leading to the discovery of a meeting one day before the Charlie Kirk neutralization. That meeting included, if the source can be believed, high-level military officials in a small military base in southern Arizona. That might be relatively unremarkable, but for the nuke itself. The alleged source supposedly said Brian Harpole was in the meeting. Reading between the lines of Candace's show yesterday, the alleged source supposedly said he recognized multiple people at the meeting or in the area who were on the stage at the Charlie Kirk Memorial. In other words, the memorial jarred his memory of people he had seen in Arizona. That she said he mentioned a woman, that Candace said he mentioned a woman with a special forces operator get in a green truck and drive away from the base hotel added intrigue, if for no other reason than we all have an idea of who he might have seen. He said later he recognized some of those people. There are only so many women even remotely involved in this story. We'll stand by to see if Candace provides more information on this woman or any of the other individuals he supposedly recognized. If I was a betting man, I would wager on a few names I know. Well, tonight I can confirm that following Candace's show last night, I started some research, and what I found floored me. I don't know who contacted Candace or whether he's credible, but I do know this. If that man or anyone else is running an op on Candace and trying to trap her into a story that doesn't add up, ultimately to destroy her reputation, they planted a key piece of evidence into the story that lends a lot of credibility to what he said. That key piece of evidence is a jet that's used exclusively by very few people. And those people are presidential family members, cabinet officials, and military generals at the Pentagon, such as the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And that jet was present at the location of the supposedly high-level meeting the day before Charlie was killed. I was watching Candace Owens this afternoon, so I know she covered the presence of the jet. I'm going to go further with that story, but I'll recap for those who aren't aware of the story, and I'll add considerable detail that she did not report. The flight was a special air mission flight. The United States Air Force Special Air Mission exists to provide safe and secure transport to our country's highest-ranking individuals. Think president, vice president, presidential and vice presidential family members, cabinet members, occasionally congressional delegations. That particular jet was present at the location of this alleged meeting on the morning of September 9th, one day before the neutralization of Charlie Kirk. And that jet had recently flown, for example, President Trump's family back from their summer home in Bedminster, New Jersey. I'll show you that in a minute. That flight was after the Independence Day holiday. So this is an important jet. I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of what are known SAM call signs, SAM, Special Air Mission call signs, because it's going to be important as we work our way through the flight logs of this jet. A Special Air Mission call sign is a designation for airlift missions carrying the president, vice president, first lady, cabinet secretaries, or other VIPs designated by the White House. When the president is on board, the radio call sign instantly becomes Air Force One. But the telephonic ATC call sign on the flight plans and on radar scopes is filed as SAM number. We'll talk about that in a second. When the vice president is on board, the aircraft becomes Air Force Two, but again, the filed call sign is normally SAM number. The same SAM call sign series is used for other cabinet members, like Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, and the First Lady when they travel on jets. And sometimes you'll see a rare call sign, very rare call sign. It's SAM 000. Sometimes you'll see a 001 or a 002. But when you see zeros leading the call sign, particularly 000, that call sign is highly sensitive. It's when the White House or the U.S. Air Force want to be deliberately vague about the exact passenger manifest. It's commonly, almost exclusively associated with the president or vice president. But zero-filled numbers like 001, 002 are favored for the highest priority passengers because they're easy to remember and they stand out. Here are some real-world examples of SAM 00 call signs, 000 call signs. January of 2021. The flights were SAM 000. Those were the actual aircraft that flew President Biden immediately after inauguration when Air Force One was still being reconfigured. December of 2022. SAM 000 was used for President Kyiv, Ukraine. Many trips by Vice President Harris to hot zones also show up as SAM 000. If you see a flight with a call sign SAM 000 on Flight Radar 24, ADS-B Exchange, it's almost certainly a U.S. airport VIP transport carrying the president or vice president. Sometimes, very rarely, senior cabinet level officials will get the SAM 000 designation. But usually it's a president or a vice president. On August 25th, 2025, and I'm going to show you all this in a second, but I want to go through it in narrative form. And after I go through it in narrative form, I will go back and pull up the flight logs, and you can go through it with me together so you know I'm not BSing you. On August 25th, 2025, this is 15, 16 days before Charlie Kirk was killed, there was a flight on this jet from D.C. to Colorado Springs with that important and rarely used call sign, SAM 000. And remember, that's the call sign typically reserved for highly sensitive flights commonly associated with the movements of the president or vice president of the United States. The 000, you'll recall, is favored for the highest priority individuals because they stand out. I looked at the daily itineraries of President Donald J. Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance for the day of August 25, 2025. President Trump was in Washington, D.C. He was seen on camera at 10 a.m. signing executive orders. At 12:15 p.m., he hosted the president of South Korea at the White House. It's safe to say, and he was also seen in the White House on August 26, meaning he didn't leave. It's safe to say that SAM 000 was not Donald Trump on August 25, 2025. J.D. Vance's schedule is unavailable for that day. He is seen on camera in the Oval Office just before noon that day talking about crime in Democrat-run cities, but I could find no more information on what he did after that meeting. For what it's worth, the SAM 000 flight on August 25 took off from Joint Base Andrews at 1:39 p.m., roughly 90 minutes after President Vance was seen, Vice President Vance, excuse me. Might be getting ahead of myself. After Vice President Vance was seen talking in the Oval Office. I could find no news regarding his whereabouts on August 26th. Regardless, whoever flew under this incredibly highly sensitive call sign, SAM 000, on August 25, flew from Joint Base Andrews to Colorado Springs, home of the 10th Special Forces Group. It stayed in Colorado Springs for 3 hours, and then it flew to Las Vegas, arriving there at 4:48 p.m. local time. Las Vegas, you'll recall, is the home of FBI Director Kash Patel. At that point, the SAM 000 sign goes cold. I can find no SAM 000 leaving Las Vegas. The following day, August 26, this jet, now under a reach call sign, repositions from Las Vegas to Colorado Springs. Upon leaving Colorado Springs the second time, this time to head back to Joint Base Andrews in Washington, D.C., the call sign has been changed from SAM 000 to SAM 658. The SAM call signs indicates it's still a highly important call sign, but it's not as high profile of an individual as the SAM 000 flight the day before. I mention this specific flight in what you probably feel is excruciating detail for a particular reason. Someone incredibly important was in Colorado Springs that day, August 25th. At this point, I want to flash back to the Sean Ryan show, where he interviewed Charlie Kirk's chief security contractor, Brian Harpole. Sean Ryan asks Brian Harpole how many days before the September 10th event in Orem, Utah, was his team on the ground to prepare. Brian Harpole tosses a little word salad and ultimately comes up with a date of when the intense preparation began for the September 10th date in Orem, Utah. I'll play it and you can listen to it. The date may sound familiar. This is where I could use a producer. Where are we here? Oh, gosh. See, this is why I need a producer. That was going to be a slick transition. Why is it not coming up? Ah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, I'm going to play about a minute of this. You can hear the date where the intense preparation begins.
We generally, the permitting process and all that goes on behind the scenes. And then there's a questionnaires that are filled out that we used to, there was a lot of busy work. And then so, you know, kind of like in the military, what you did, we create forms that, hey, let's get this information up front. And so that we have a duplication process so that we can confirm it. And so we started our first, before that one, the 24th of the month prior.
They started their preparation the 24th of the month prior. Recall, the date August 25th was the date we were looking at. The planning, he says, started on August 24th, the day before the SAM 000 flight arrives in Colorado Springs. I'll explain to you in a moment why Colorado Springs is relevant. But Brian Harpole's recollection is the day the prep started in earnest for the Charlie Kirk event was one day before the incredibly highly ranked official flew from D.C. to Colorado Springs under call sign SAM 000. Let me look something up real quick. Yeah, August 24th was a Sunday. So he says the prep started on Sunday. Here's why Colorado Springs matters. Colorado Springs matters. We discussed how the special air mission flight SAM 702 was on the ground at Fort Huachuca at the same time Candace's alleged witness supposedly saw the mass gathering of high brass meeting in secret on the morning of September 9th. But what about the day or two before that meeting? Where was this jet? Well, the short answer is it was in Colorado Springs. It had come from Joint Base Andrews to Colorado Springs and then flew from Tucson, which is just a few minutes from Fort Huachuca. From Tucson, it flew to Fort Huachuca. The reason this is important is there are only two times I could find in recent history that particular jet had flown Colorado Springs from anywhere other than Joint Base Andrews. Once was to Las Vegas and back the day after Brian Harpole says the planning began in earnest on the Orem, Utah Charlie Kirk event. And recall that flight to Las Vegas had a super VIP SAM 000 sign. The other was the day before the meeting with the top brass, at least according to Candace's alleged witness, and supposedly in that meeting, Brian Harpole. So with that background, let's take a look now at some of the details I've been discussing. It's my sincere hope you have enough information now to start making sense of everything I'm about to throw at you, because it's going to be dense. So let me get into it. Does anyone need a bathroom break? No, that's what I say at work when we have a big intro. All right, this is the flight log. This is the flight log for, yeah, it's this one. I have three different versions of this in case one of them crashed. I wouldn't get caught having to try to pull it back up live. So this is the flight log. Trying to make it bigger on my screen. There we go. For this important jet, if you've ever wanted to know what these jets look like, they look like that jet up there at the top. This looks like, kind of looks like Air Force One, right? It's got the same color scheme. It's painted like that. It's just a smaller version, but it's a very high-end jet. A very, very high-end jet. My measly subscription to Flight Radar 24 only goes back to June, but it gives us 6 months of data. 6 months of data to work with. I'm going to go to search by the word Colorado, so you can see there's 16 entries of the word Colorado. They start there on August 25th. That's the SAM 000 flight I was talking about. You see that? That's that SAM 000. You almost never see a SAM 000 in the wild. You have to be looking for it. You rarely trip over one. It's the president or vice president almost every time. Almost every time. Occasionally, maybe it's someone else. But it's almost always the vice president or the president. So we have a flight here from Joint Base Andrews that lands in Colorado Springs, local time 2:28. It's on the ground till 5:20. It flies to Las Vegas and lands there at 4:48 Las Vegas time. From there, you see this transponder goes off on this reach flight. Now, a reach flight is just, it could be a lot of things. So a SAM flight's a special air mission. This is, we're flying really highly sensitive people around. That's an SAM call sign. This RCH, this reach call sign, can be cargo. It could be less important people, like lieutenant colonels, for example, operators. It could be, you're flying an important diplomatic packet somewhere, right? That's a reach call sign. So it could be a repositioning flight. And there's one more call sign called a Venus call sign. If we come across one, I'll show it to you. So this goes from Las Vegas, and then the transponder goes off. We see the flight left Las Vegas at 3:14 p.m. We don't know what time it landed. We know it landed in Colorado Springs because, boom, then when it takes off, it's in Colorado Springs. But for whatever reason, it killed the transponder on that repositioning flight. So what you're dealing with here is you've got a Camp Springs to Colorado Springs carrying incredibly highly ranked people. Incredibly highly ranked people. And then you have a Colorado Springs to Las Vegas flight. Hold on. I'm trying to fix the skip real quick. Then you have this Colorado Springs flight. Again, SAM 000. And then from Las Vegas, it comes back to Colorado Springs, picks up somebody, because now it's still a SAM flight, and flies back to Joint Base Andrews. That's the August 25th, August 26th. Now, you will see, I'm going to back it back out here. You will see that Colorado Springs comes up again, but it always is a direct flight to or from Camp Springs. So you've got Camp Springs, Colorado Springs. You've got other ones here. Colorado Springs, Camp Springs. You got one there to Anchorage, but Colorado Springs back to Camp Springs. Camp Springs, Colorado Springs. So who was on that Anchorage flight? Yeah, that's a reach flight. That's not a SAM flight. So when it's carrying someone, it's always that one thing. Now, the Colorado Springs, so they fly in August 25th. Again, the Monday that Brian Harpole says they start planning the event in earnest in Orem, Utah, at Utah Valley University, Charlie Kirk's event. They fly into Colorado Springs that day, the day after. They do something there for 2 or 3 hours. They head to Las Vegas. They're there for a while. Again, Las Vegas, the home of Kash Patel. Whoever was the SAM flies to Las Vegas, and then they go back to Colorado Springs at some point, and then from Colorado Springs back to Joint Base Andrews on August 26th. The next time you see this flight in Colorado Springs is this trip leading up to the big meeting. So let me zoom in on it. This is your big meeting right here. This is your big meeting at Fort Huachuca. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So this series of flights starts on September 7th, 3 days before the Charlie Kirk assassination, 2 days before the meeting in Fort Huachuca. It flies from Joint Base Andrews to Colorado Springs. It flies from Colorado Springs to Tucson. Again, this is close to Fort Huachuca. It flies from Tucson into presumably Fort Huachuca because it kills the transponder, but then the next day it's leaving Fort Huachuca. So whoever came in on this flight arrived probably, since Tucson's just a few minutes ago away, around 4:30 or 5 o'clock the day before the big meeting. So what do we know about the day before the big meeting? Well, that's when Candace's source allegedly spots that night, September 8th, spots the pretty girl and the special forces operator hanging around the hotel and then driving off in a green truck. That was the night of September 8th. This flight would have been at Fort Huachuca at that time. It would have been at Fort Huachuca at that time. Now, keep in mind, where did it come from? Colorado Springs to Tucson, Tucson to Fort Huachuca. What's in Colorado Springs? The 10th Special Forces. They bring in, they come from a base with Special Forces into Fort Huachuca, right here, this dot dash. Consider that Fort Huachuca, because otherwise, how does the plane get to Fort Huachuca? It's obviously this. So it goes from Colorado Springs, quick detour into Tucson, probably to pick someone up or something up. No other reason to stop there. It's literally on the other side of town. And then into Fort Huachuca. And again, this is a home of special operators. This is a home of a lot of top brass. And then from Tucson to Fort Huachuca, and then it leaves Fort Huachuca this time at 11:43 a.m. And it heads to El Paso, and then El Paso back to Camp Springs. Camp Springs, of course, being Joint Base Andrews. So that is the sum total of where we're headed. I'm not drawing the conclusion of who was on the SAM 000 flight. I'll leave that for you if you want to. I have my suspicion. On totally unrelated matters, one of the very first people that Mikey McCoy sought to call in the immediate aftermath of the Charlie Kirk assassination was Vice President J.D. Vance. I always wondered why that call. That call never made sense to me. That call never made sense to me. You just watched your boss die gruesomely. You turned around and walked off. You called your wife. You called your dad. You called his wife. And you called the Vice President of the United States? And say, well, they were friends. Well, Charlie had a lot of friends. Charlie had a lot of friends. I mean, there were probably hundreds of people that thought Charlie was their friend. Why the vice president? And why the vice president come pick him up and take him back to Arizona? They have ways to transport bodies. I don't know what was taking place in Colorado Springs on August 25th and in Las Vegas on August 26th. But I have my strong suspicions. And if you go back and listen to the Sean Ryan interview with Brian Harpole, he doesn't say we were on the ground in Orem, Utah. He was asked, when did you guys get on the ground? How far ahead of time? And he says, well, we started really planning this in earnest August 24th. That's when we started really digging into this thing. That's when we started doing our preparation, going through our routine. And it just so happens that a SAM 000 call sign is heading into Colorado Springs and then Las Vegas that day, or the next day. And it just so happens that the last place this flight is before the high brass meeting at Fort Huachuca, the last place this flight is in Colorado Springs. When I came across this information, I thought, is this the type of information you just don't share? Like you don't share this? Do you hold on to this? Do you tell your spouse? Do you tell your friends? Do you tell your... Who do you talk to about this? And when Candace started talking about the plane today, I thought, all right, yes, this is going to necessitate a rewrite of my opening. Yes, this is going to necessitate a completely different show for me. But at least I won't have to be the one to point it out. At least I won't have to be the one to raise all these things to the surface and let people consider it, think about it, talk about it. At least someone else can bear the brunt of going to bed tonight having said that it sure looks like someone very high up was in Colorado Springs about the time Brian Harpole starts planning the Charlie Kirk event in Orem, Utah. And then there's a flight from Colorado Springs to Fort Huachuca the day before, 2 days before the Charlie Kirk assassination, where Brian Harpole supposedly was at that meeting. And for those that aren't following, you haven't followed the story closely enough, this is the best way I know how to explain it. The timing of the Brian Harpole, we started this on August 24th, is very coincidental with a plane flying into Colorado Springs that day, where there's a special forces operation. There's a lot of really high breath and ISR stuff up there. And then the next time we see Brian Harpole play a relevant role, at least as of yesterday, we learned, the next time we think we see, in our opinion, we might see Brian Harpole play a role, it's at a super secret meeting where the plane just arrived from Colorado Springs. For those saying Brian Harpole was in Korea on September 8th and 9th, I don't believe that's accurate. I think he came back on like the 5th or 6th. I'm subject to being fact-checked on that, but I keep seeing that. Now, let me address Candace, not Candace. Let me address Erika Kirk today on Fox News. Let me address Erika Kirk today on Fox News. This is the best way I know to say it. I'm going to pull up for you guys the Erika Kirk clip where everybody's acting like she went nuclear and just destroyed Candace and destroyed all the people. I want to pull that up, and I want to point out something interesting about the timeline we're talking about, because I think this is an important fact that we all have to consider when we're thinking about whether or not this is genuine. What we're seeing here with Erika Kirk is genuine. We need to consider that. It may not be. But I want to play the clip first, and then I want to point out the timing of when she finally decides to say all this, because she's been very mum. Erika Kirk, for 89 days after the purported assassination, not purported, after the assassination of her husband, purportedly by Tyler Robinson, has allowed Candace Owens and others, many others, to speculate on a wide variety of reasons why Charlie Kirk might have been assassinated and by whom. The official narrative, of course, that I think is supported by Erika Kirk, at least she seems to suggest it, is that Tyler Robinson did, in fact, plan and execute this almost entirely alone. He might have had some friends from some help from like furries or people on a Discord chat or whatever. But it seems to be that she's buying the official narrative, or at least she's pushing the official narrative. Let's say that. She's pushing the official narrative. So let me play this real quick, and then I want to point out what I think is interesting about the timing of this.
Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
You know, I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system. I do. We have a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French. But this is not okay.
So you want to put these people back in the box where they've been creeping from?
I don't care what box you're in. But just know that your words are very powerful, and we are human. My team are not machines, and they're not robots. They are human. We have more death threats on our team and our side than I have ever seen. I have kidnapping threats. I have, you name it, we have it. And my poor team is exhausted. And every time they bring this back up, what are we supposed to do? Relive that trauma all over again? They watched my husband get murdered. I have no idea how I would have reacted if I was there that day. And thank the good Lord that I did not have to see that happen. But my team, they are rocked to the core. So why every single day do they have to be dragged through the mud, analyzed, hyper-analyzed?
You know,
Sit in a corner and cry and be in fetal position. This is a duty to my husband, and it's an absolute honor, and I will never back down. And so my message to them is to stop.
Her message is to stop. Remember months ago when Candace first started investigating, and others started investigating this. I don't want to say she alone is investigating it, but she's done a lot of the heavy lifting. Remember, she said there are only two people who could get me to stop. It was her husband, George Farmer, Candace's husband, and it was Erika Kirk. Those were the only two people she said who could get her to stop. And Erika Kirk wanted the credit of acting, in my opinion. This is, you guys have been trying to get me to turn on her the whole time. This is as close as you're going to get. Erika Kirk wanted the credit of saying, I'm confident. Go ahead. Look around. I know TPA USA had nothing to do with it. I know nobody I knew had anything to do with it. I'm pretty confident this was a trans furry community. One of them got a little out of control. And they assassinated my husband. She wanted that credit. Until Candace came out and said, hey, wait a minute. I've got a source here who may have seen Brian Harpole on the ground. And there may have been a woman on the ground at Fort Huachuca the day or two before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Well, now all of a sudden she has to stop. Now all of a sudden we're doing the Fox News tour. She was on every show of Fox News, I think. I'm pretty confident Erika Kirk was on every single show. In every single show, she had this righteous anger routine she was running. Every single show, she had this, I gotta stop. That's not fair. You're harming people. You know what you could do? Just release evidence that shows it's indisputable that everybody's wrong. If you show me a video that proves everything I believe is inaccurate and Tyler Robinson actually did plan and execute this thing, I'll go away. I'll go away tomorrow. We'll start covering Las Vegas shooting. We'll go back over those notes. We'll cover, I don't know, Franklin scandal, all these things you guys email me about all the time. We'll get into something else. We'll have some fun. We'll still laugh. We'll cry. We'll get serious. We'll get angry. We'll play bad cop. We might look into Brigitte's little Macron. We'll find something to cover. I promise you. I've been doing Bitcoin. I've been doing this way too long to say I can't come up with something to cover that's interesting, that's exciting, that keeps people engaged. I've been doing this for over a decade. I can come up with material. It's not a lack of material. You show me evidence of who Mikey was on the phone with and who he called immediately afterwards and how long those calls lasted. You show me the video footage of Charlie Kirk going into the hospital and who was around. You show me Tyler Robinson's cell phone pings from the week before and the week after. And don't give me this BS about, oh, you'll taint the jury pool. What do you think Jack Posobiec is doing? What do you think everyone is doing that's going around saying, it was obviously Tyler Robinson? You people who think it wasn't Tyler Robinson, you don't think that's tainting the jury pool? They've got a confession. They've got DNA on the gun. They've got DNA on the screwdriver. They've got DNA here. They have his car there. They have him on video. But hey, guess what? You're also tainting the jury pool. I've tried cases on both sides. Well, never a prosecution side, but plaintiff defense and criminal defense. I've tried cases on all of them. Your jury, you know what they're doing after they get sworn in and say, I would never research outside of what I hear. The judge, every time you swear someone in, they say, all right, now, listen, here are the rules. I'm not going to force you to stay in a hotel with no cell phone. But you got to promise me, you got to look each other in the eye, look me in the eye, look these lawyers, look the witnesses, and look the defendant in the eye. You will not leave here and go investigate. The only evidence you're allowed to consider will come from that chair only. Every document will come through that chair. Every statement will come through that chair. That's the only chair you're allowed to consider when you're considering who is right and who is wrong. You're not even allowed to consider the statements of the attorneys, except to help you construct how to interpret the evidence that came out of that chair. That's it. And you know the first thing they do on the very first break they get, the first time they get a bathroom break or a water break, you know the very first thing they do? They pull out their phone and start Googling. That's what they do. They pull out their phone and start Googling. They start talking to each other. They're not supposed to do that. They go to Google. They go to the local news. They start reading through the comments. They go to Twitter. They all do it. Every jury. Because when you talk to them after the trial and say, how did you convict my guy? I thought we put on a pretty good case. And they go, well, he did say this, this, and this. I'm like, the hell he did? That never came in trial. I got it. I got it. That's that. You Googled. You Googled. You're not supposed to, but you did. That's called extrinsic evidence. You're not allowed to use it, but you did. You did. You did. So she wants her cake. She wants to eat it too. That's where Erika Kirk is. She wanted the credit of being, because if she'd have come out on day one and said, no, I don't want anyone looking into this except the FBI. Well, how ludicrous is that? How many people on our side, meaning the Republican side at all, trust the FBI after what they did to Donald J. Trump in 2016 and 17 and 18 and 19 and 20 and 21? How many of us trust the FBI after they were arresting and rounding up grandmas for taking an unauthorized tour of the Capitol Rotunda? How many of us trust the FBI after we see people with our own eyes and hear with our own ears multiple machine guns coming from helicopters, and they go, yeah, some crazy up in that hotel did it? Well, sir, we looked at the video. There was no gun flash coming from the hotel. The gun flash was coming from the helicopters over Las Vegas. And you could hear there were multiple different styles of gun. There were different guns in different locations. Well, here's your 3-page FBI Fed slop. I love that Candace coined that phrase, by the way. Fed slop, it's amazing. It's the greatest new phrase of 2025. I hope it makes it into the dictionary. It deserves to be there. But Erika wanted her cake and eat it too. She couldn't come out immediately and say, guys, do not look into this. That would look so suspicious. That would have looked so suspicious. So she holds back and says, yeah, go ahead. You're not bothering me at all. Until we say, wait a minute, was there a meeting the day before Charlie Kirk was assassinated at Fort Huachuca in Arizona that included Brian Harpole and a pretty lady the night before with a special operator? Was that a thing? All right, you guys got to stop. We're done. We're done here. No more. No more. I could put up with it until now, but I've had enough. I've had enough. I will not allow this to take place anymore. I've lost faith in her. No longer is she the grieving widow to me. But I have been backed off of her. I've encouraged you guys to back off of her. I've read your super chats where you say, why are you not going after Erika? And I've said, hey, listen, she's a grieving widow. Yeah, but did you see her skin-tight leather pants? She's a grieving widow. Grieving widows can wear leather pants. Yeah, but did you see the way she hugged Vice President Vance? She's a grieving widow. Grieving widows can hug people strangely. Yeah, but did you see the way she laughed? Yeah, I saw it all. She's a grieving widow. I've never lost anybody, and I don't know what's the normal way to grieve. I've not even lost a parent. Not a parent, not a spouse. Very few close friends, believe it or not. I've lost a few close friends, but I mean, very few. I don't know how you're supposed to grieve, but I do know this. If you're going to let Candace Owens and Blake Bednarz and Sam Parker and Ian Carroll and Baron Coleman and Valhalla and all these other people investigate this thing, I've left somebody out and they're going to be offended. Project Constitution, I've left somebody out, they're all going to be offended. I read all your stuff, I watch all your things. But if you're gonna let all these people investigate your husband's assassination for 89 days, you don't get the right to shut it down the day after this meeting is discovered. You lose that right. You have lost the right. Coach Colin, Dee Dee got a podcast. I like old Dee Dee. You lose the right. You lose the right. Wolves in Finance. There are people breaking news. I mean, actually doing legitimate research and presenting things that have not been heard for the first time. Candace did it yesterday. I'm guessing a lot of you did not know that Sam 000 call and the connection to Colorado Springs before listening to this show tonight. There are people breaking actual news stories. Sam Parker found the video of Mikey McCoy turning around and running off. Blake Bednar's found the video of Tyler Robinson meeting up with the white SUV and driving off. People are coming up with actual real source material. Ian Carroll's tracked every plane on the planet. He's done the yeoman's work. Great, great work. His dismantling of Nick Fuentes' position the other night, I don't know if you've seen it. It's like 2 hours long. It should be required viewing by every single person on the other side. By every single person demanding that everybody stop the investigation. It should be required viewing. Because if you're telling us to stop, you believe all that. You have to. Or you would want us to keep going. Aren't you curious who was in Colorado Springs and what they were doing there? And then who did they go see in Las Vegas? Aren't you a little curious? Just a little? Aren't you curious whether Brian Harpole was in Fort Huachuca? I've subpoenaed cell phone records. You could find out exactly where he was, assuming he took his cell phone. Was he on one of those planes that landed in Tucson that I've charted every plane in and out of Tucson for 3 days on either side of that? Now I'm starting to figure out where they tangoed with other planes. I've got several identified as suspicious. Some of them flying to the Mexican border. Some of them flying to Cabo. Even on the day of the event. Some of them flying to Kerrville, Texas. So I've got a lot of suspicious things going on. I've tracked down a lot of planes flying into Van Nuys, California from Tucson at this exact time. Flying into Tucson from Van Nuys, California. For those that don't know, that's where Rob McCoy lives, that area. So I've got a lot of planes. I've got a lot of planes. I've got a lot more information. I've shared this information. Taking me out will do nothing to stop the information. But aren't you, I mean, if you're Erika Kirk, aren't you a little, if my wife died suspiciously like that and somebody said, hey, you know, the chief contractor for her security was seen on a military base the day before. Were you aware of that? If you truly weren't aware, wouldn't you be a little curious? Wouldn't you be calling him saying, hey, where were you on September 8th and 9th? Where were you? Brian Harpole, were you in Fort Huachuca? Were you in Arizona? You live in Texas. Were you at Fort Huachuca, Arizona? Where were you on August 24th and 5th and 6th, Brian Harpole? Were you in Colorado Springs by chance? Can I see your phone records? Can I see who you've been calling? I think if my wife had been murdered, these would be very simple questions for my contractors. Let me see your phone. I mean, you're paying them, presumably millions of dollars a year. And you're telling Candace to stop the day after she says a witness spotted your husband's chief security contractor on a military Air Force base with special operators around and a pretty girl on base? And that he recognized, this is a key detail that's getting lost. I'm hoping Candace expounds on this. But if you go back and read the transcript of her podcast from yesterday, he recognized people, plural, people on the stage at the memorial as being at that meeting. Meaning it wasn't just Brian Harpole, according to him. So no, Erika, I'm not stopping. I don't think Candace will stop. And I think it's really unbecoming of you to ask anyone at this point to stop. I think it's really unbecoming. And dare I say, in my opinion, it's a sign of guilt. In my opinion, it's a sign of guilt. Let's just take this out of the realm of Charlie Kirk. Let's put it in this analogy. There's a rich guy. He's got a butler. He's got a security guard. This is normal America. Lots of rich people have butlers and security guards. My butler and security... No, I'm just kidding. Your spouse dies. Your spouse dies. Murdered. Shot. And someone calls you 90 days, 89 days after the murder, and the police have been targeting a guy. They say they've got the guy. But you get word 89 days later that the guy the police have may or may not have something to do with it, but your husband's that's now assassinated or shot, murdered in your home, his security guy was seen meeting on a military post with high-level military people a day or two before your husband got shot. Your husband was a big military contractor, let's say. But he never went to the post without the security guy. Like the security guy being on a military post with high-ranking military officials is just completely out of character. It would never happen. Never happen. And instead of going to the police and say, hey, I heard something. Can you look into it? I want to know where my security guard was that night. Was he really on that military post? If so, who's he been talking to? And apparently there was a weird meeting, Mr. Police, about 3 weeks before that in Colorado at a military base with special forces operators. Can you look into that as well? Was he there? I need to know what's happening. Instead of that, let's imagine you go to the person who's telling you this and you say, why are you trying to hurt me? I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm saying that they've arrested that guy and he's sitting in jail, but your husband's security guard allegedly was seen in this other place. You should look into it. I'm not looking into it. Not only am I not going to look into it, I'm telling everybody you're evil, you're crazy, you're diabolical, you're satanic. You want Donald Trump to lose, don't you? Who's the crazy one? Who's the crazy one at that point? Who is crazy at that point? You know who's nuts? If Erika Kirk is acting in good faith, she's not well. If she's acting in good faith right now, she's not well. She needs a custodian. She needs a conservator. If someone goes to Erika Kirk and says, hey, lady, your husband's chief security contractor started planning this about the same time a high-ranking government official flew from D.C. into Colorado Springs, where there happened to be special forces operators, where they happened to train with foreign militaries at Fort Carson over there. And then the day before he was assassinated, he was in a meeting, and a high-level plane flew, the same high-level plane, actually, flew in from Colorado Springs. You ought to look into that. Oh, and by the way, we saw the chief security operator. We think we saw him. We're pretty sure it was him at the meeting, the high-level meeting. If she turns around and says, you're evil for telling me all that, you're trying to hurt people. I'm sorry, lady. You're not well. You're not well. You don't deserve to run a multiple $100 million operation at that point. It's not safe. You're out of touch with reality. This is just my opinion. But in my opinion, this is a real problem. It's a real problem that Harris Faulkner let her sit there and say it. It's a huge problem that Harris Faulkner let her sit there and say it. And Ainsley Earhart. And every other show she was on. It's a huge problem that everybody's taking to Twitter and saying, yeah, Erika really got him. Wait, what? What do you mean she really got him? She's possibly ignoring a plot to murder her husband. She's possibly like ignoring it. It could be happening right under her eyes. She has evidence of it. She at least has somebody who says she saw him there. And you don't even want to ask? You don't even want to know? Are you kidding me? That doesn't bother you? Your husband's chief security contractor is alleged to be at this meeting with high-level military officials one day before your husband was assassinated, and you're not going to ask him about it? You're not going to thank Candace for the additional information? How ungrateful can you be? I have put up with this. I have sat back and listened to reasonable people tell me time and time and time and time again that she looked suspicious, she was acting shady, and everything else. You know what? I agree with you, every one of you. I've agreed with you from the beginning. I just wouldn't say it. I've agreed with you since she came out to the Super Bowl fireworks show at her husband's funeral. I think she also confirmed today her husband's not buried yet. Also weird. Put the man in the ground. Give him a dignified rest. I don't know where this investigation goes from here. Because it's possible, based on the flight records, it's possible the executive branch is completely compromised on this investigation. I don't know that for a fact. I'm not saying that's true. I'm not even saying my opinion it is. I'm saying it's possible and it should be looked into. It makes a lot more sense to me now why Kash Patel might have been killing the investigation that Joe Kent and others were trying to gin up, Tulsi Gabbard and others. That makes sense to me now. If I was in Congress, I would be dragging them in now and asking questions. Why did you kill a counterterrorism investigation? Why wouldn't you let them at least look? I'm disgusted. Like, I'm disgusted. I never thought it would get to this. But it tells me, my opinion, that Charlie Kirk's death leads through that meeting that Candace uncovered. I think that meeting probably took place. I've been using words like alleged meeting. Supposedly, people were there. Because I wasn't there and I didn't see it. I've been doing the responsible thing, though. I think until you have evidence, like it's one thing if you're just commenting on a message board somewhere. Like I get 10, 15,000 live comments on these shows, particularly the ones that go 3 or 4 hours. Tonight will not be one of those, by the way. But I get it that you can just say things behind an anonymous screen name, Love Moves 3312. Oh, Erika Kirk, she knows something. I get that. But when you put your name on the line and you put your face on the line and you put your credibility and integrity on the line, you have to wait for evidence. This is evidence. To me, this is evidence. Candace dropped a nuke on this case, an absolute nuke on this case. And the only way you can respond, if you're Erika Kirk or if you're the Utah State Police, is to get to the bottom of it, to say, yes, please keep going. I need to know more about this meeting. I'm going to look into it myself. But you're welcome to keep looking because this is very deeply concerning. If there's nothing to it, it'll go away. I've said time and time again, the way they could get rid of all of us is radical transparency. Radical transparency. Just open it all up. You don't give me the BS line about, you'll taint the jury pool. Jack Posobiec is tainting the jury pool. by saying every day 35 times on Twitter, Tyler Robinson did it. I saw Tyler Robinson do it. I saw a leftist kill him. I saw this. Tyler Robinson did it. Those people are trying to let Tyler Robinson go. Hey, Jack, have you looked into the meeting at Fort Huachuca? Have you? You're a former military intel guy. You know how the game works. I have, oh gosh, I have more stuff, believe it or not. I do want to reiterate I'm very healthy. I'm a very healthy human being. For those that say the vice presidents don't fly on that, I have confirmation that Joe Biden flew on that plane, Mike Pence and Kamala Harris all flew on that plane. They do typically take the C-32, which is a much larger plane, particularly on overseas missions or long missions, but they do take that C-37A and B. So I don't want to hear that as an excuse. But I said today was going to be heavy, and I mean it. I think it is. I think it's legitimately heavy. Oh, I said I was going to play this because someone accused me of that this isn't actually a thing. Y'all got to let me recover from that. I kind of got crazy there for a minute. This is the governor. This is the governor of the great state of Utah explaining to us how Tyler Robinson, the alleged shooter, climbed on top of the roof and decided that then and there, that was the time to start changing clothes. Somebody accused me of making that up when I said it on Twitter, but can you hear that?
Correct. Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU.
Yeah. So that was where the official position of the state of Utah and the FBI, you can look at Kash Patel's face right there to see if you think he believes it. The official position is that Tyler Robinson is the shooter. He showed up on campus in one set of clothes. He climbs on the roof, changes clothes, makes the shot, climbs off the roof, runs away, gets arrested the next day. Remember, 33 hours later, gets arrested the next day at 10 o'clock at night, back in the original clothes that he walked onto campus in. Like he thought that would be the play. Yes, I know there's an international manhunt for the guy that shot Charlie Kirk, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive around and wear clothes around town in the clothes that they're looking for. It'd be like if you, I just had a thought. Give me just a second. This could be good. 10th Special Forces. Was that what I said? 10th Special Forces Group. Yeah, they are. They're Green Berets. I thought they were. Green Berets. That's interesting. Okay. All right. If I'm going to save the rest of this. I don't know if I'll come back tomorrow or just wait until Friday. I did not plan to come back tomorrow, but I also didn't plan to get so deep into this today. I got to get through some of these supers because I got to know what you guys think about everything we just covered. Erika's officially said stop when asked about the conspiracy theories and addressed how she feels about TPUSA family employees being accused of things she apparently believes are lies. Should Candace keep her word and integrity and stop investigation? I think integrity is now out of the window. I think for her integrity, she must continue. And I think I don't think she can stop. Not after uncovering a nuke. I think the window to have Candace stop was very early on, and it would have made Erika look very guilty, frankly. Thank you for that generous donation, though, Steelers girl. Wow, thank you. What do you think of Erika Kirk response in the town hall with Barry Weiss on Candace podcast today, where Erika said she couldn't be in the Egyptian planes because she was pregnant and had photo proof? I never thought she was in the Egyptian planes. I think it's this is a way where people don't answer a question that they don't want to answer. They know there's no follow-up. They're in a friendly audience, like Candace isn't there. They'll say, well, of course I wasn't in the Egyptian planes. They know the allegation is not that you were in the Egyptian planes. Nobody has ever alleged that. She knew that, but it's a way to make the question seem absurd and move swiftly past it. And do you think Barry Weiss is going to do the follow-up? No. Thank you, Shane. You need a real Crimson red shirt. I have one, sir, and I've done podcasts in it multiple times. Also here for the reminder of the Franklin scandal. I talked about it tonight. I talked about it. I told you I didn't need this. You show me a video that proves conclusively Tyler Robinson did it. You show me phone records that prove conclusively who these people were calling, where, and when. I'm gone. I'll cover something else. We'll get so deep in the Franklin scandal, you'll be floating around in it, whatever it means. It's worth my attention. I did look at it briefly. I saw it involved kids in the Midwest somewhere, the Great Plains state somewhere. So weird that EK is prompting a posthumous book by CK that conveniently paints the Jewish customs in a favorable light. Is he the next Tupac? Every year we get a new book about how much he loves Israel. Yes, I saw that. It's an amazing book. Were we aware this book was forthcoming, by the way? When did we first hear there was a Charlie Kirk book going to be produced? Was it in the wake of his... It's possible I just missed the news. Or did they whip up a book in the last 6 weeks and throw Charlie Kirk's name on it to go make another $50 million? Was Dan Flood fired from TPUSA? Does anyone know why? I don't know whether he was. He's no longer on the website. I've heard rumors that he was, but either way, TPUSA owes us an explanation for the hand signal and why he's been removed from the website, if not the organization. We deserve that. Hello from Chambersburg, PA. I've been there. Why is everyone focused on Mikey and not his older brother, the CFO? It all surrounded the money. Look at the CFO. I don't think his older brother was the CFO. I think Rob misspoke. I'm pretty confident his older brother's not the CFO. You can look at Rob's children. He does not have a child named Justin. You are our DCIA Pope. We know you are healthy and not suicidal. Go Max Barron. Well, thank you. If nominated, I will serve. If nominated, I will accept. If elected, I will serve. Yeah, no, I wanted to be Pope this time, like real Pope. Every Catholic male is eligible. And I'm eligible, baby. I would have been a damn good Pope. Man, I would have been such a good Pope. Y'all wouldn't have seen me blessing ice blocks, I'll tell you that. Ethernet fund. I'm working on it. I've gotten quotes. I've talked to people about it. I'm working on it. I think the problem is my kids stream the show from different devices and it hogs the bandwidth. So I'm not even sure the Ethernet would help. But I'm working on it. I could do a speed test, but then you'll really get skippy. Hey, boss, just an observation. The dark van that had the trunk opening and shutting a few times, and even familiar characters by it in proximity after the shot appears to not open again. I've looked into it. I even watched the Trigger Smart video where they said the guy shot into the... Was it Trigger Smart? Yeah, I think it was. Where the guy... He's doing a good job. Trigger Smart. Chris Martinson. There's so many people investigating this that are doing great work. Range Day Bros. So many people. Like, I don't want to mention just a few names because there's like dozens. But I saw, I think it was Trigger Smart, where somebody shot into the van, or the allegation is someone shot into the van. I watched it. I don't know what to make of it. I don't think Tyler Robinson killed him. I know that. Weird. It was found under the skin when Brian Harpole says it was fragged down in the stomach area. Weird. Yeah, he's not much of a surgeon, is he? Not much of a doctor. Baron and the Working Genius, I am invention and discernment. Ooh, we are different. I am a WD, so I'm wonder and discernment, but I is my very last. Like, it doesn't show up. You shared you have wonder as a genius. What's your other? Oh, I just answered it. Yeah, I'm a WD, and if you knew me in my real life, that's why I like this podcasting format. I'm a WD. I wonder about everything, and I make decisions, and I have strong opinions when I decide. That's the D. ID would be cool. I work with a couple of DIs. And it's a great genius. Truly is. I'm scared the government is going to put kitty corn on your computer. I hope you're being careful. Yeah, let me tell you, that's what it would be, because you can come and look at my computer. It's fine. You can scan it. There's no candy corn on there. As always, you're spot on. We need to pray that those involved will confess the truth, lest judgment lead their souls to the pit. Please pray, y'all. The Lord can convince them to confess the truth. The Lord can, but I truly believe a lot of these people are controlled by Satan. Like, I think this was a Satanist enterprise, and I think they're deep. Anybody can repent, sir. That is the gospel. Thanks, guys. Now they're going to change the call signs of their high-profile pastors. No, these have been the call signs since the early 90s. And I see them occasionally. Like, I was on I actually was telling a friend of ours this the other day. I keep that ADSB exchange pulled up in the background a lot while I'm working on the big screen here because I don't need all these screens when I'm just working. And I like to watch the planes go by, and I'll pull it up just to military planes. And then if I see a plane leaving D.C. area, I'll look and see who it is. You see the Secretary of State, you see the Secretary of Defense, you see the Attorney General. Like, if I see, like that plane I just showed you, Pam Bondi flies on that. Hegseth has flown on that plane. I can prove it. I didn't because I only have so much time. But you can see where they're going, and you know who's on the plane. And you can sometimes cross-reference it with Twitter or a press release and say if they say they're going to Tampa, and then you see the flight on the way to Tampa, you know that's them. And sometimes you'll see the 000, and you look, and it's Air Force One or Air Force Two. I'll say this: now this is just me. I've never seen the 000 where it's not the president or the vice president, but I'm told it's happened. Ashley Hayes, thank you, Ashley, very generous. Victoria Allen, thank you. You guys both saying thank you. Everything is fake and gay. I'm wondering why EK chose to attack CO only after the information about that meeting became public. Well, now you know. You answered your own question. It's called bootstrapping. You answered your own question. Love your show. Watching from Florence, Alabama. We're practically neighbors. Yeah, you are. You're a couple hours away from me. Right down, I think it's 43. Is that what goes over there? I'd have to get over to 43 and then head that way. I bought a car in Florence, Alabama one time. Home of the University of North Alabama Lions. They're purple. And they got a great little Italian place right downtown. Cool little downtown, actually, for Florence. Mandy, thank you, $10. Pamela Bailey, $10. That's $1 million laugh, Mr. Coleman. Thank you, as always, for so much effort and heart you put into these podcasts. OG, since you had 400 followers. You've been around a long time. You've been commenting since I had 400 followers. Which, admittedly, was only a couple months ago. Admittedly. But yeah. I don't know about the $1 million laugh, but thank you. I'll accept the compliment. Hey, boss, the car in the parking lot was most likely an 18 to 19 Toyota Highlander, sunroof 2 for a big RAV4. Too big for a RAV4. Drip rail narrow. I used today, I said white SUV, and I said that on purpose because I've accused two different SUVs of being a Toyota RAV4. One was a Lexus, and I've confirmed it was, in fact, to me, it looked like a Lexus. And the other one, I think, is 50-50 on whether it's a Highlander. I think it's 50-50 on whether it's a Highlander. Either way, it suspiciously slows down right there. Thank you for that donation and the education. This is the mother of conspiracies. Cash Vance Erika. That's your conclusion, ma'am. Bronx girl, if that is your real name. That's your conclusion. My conclusion is I'm just giving you the facts. I'm elevating them to the surface. The crowd swarm of searching will do their job. They will go out there and they will determine who was on this plane because 1,000, what do we have on here? 11,000 people. Is that right? Yeah, 11,285 people are smarter than one. You guys will run this down. And when you do, surface it back to the thing. I don't care if I get the credit or not. I'll give credit to whoever breaks the story. Candace broke the story of the meeting. I hope I've added some color to who potentially was at the meeting and when the planning of this really took place and where it actually took place. It was not, in my opinion, the bulk of the planning probably involved Fort Carson and Colorado Springs. That's my opinion. But thank you for the donation, itty bitty girl. I'm calling you itty bitty girl because that's what I think when I see it. You're probably like 6'8", which would be ironic that I call you itty bitty girl. So there would still be humor in it. I caught that Caddyshack reference. Thank you. You can't slip that past a 1969 man. Glad there's still someone to watch who hasn't drank the lame aid. Continue. Yeah, there's still a few of us out here. We've got a nice little community going. What is it about the Kushners? Charles Kushner is the U.S. ambassador to France. Jared has the property deal in Gaza. and is in Ukraine as a special envoy. They're rich. They're rich, and they are married. One of them is married to a Trump. That helps. That helps when you're trying to get richer. There's a lot of truth to the rich get richer. MW, thank you. Very generous. BS Petty. Dang, if Candace keeps this up, we'll never get the Bitcoin episode. You alluded to Gen 1 last episode. Do you have an electric universe explanation for the Exodus light and smoke of the Ark of the Covenant too? I do. Let me tell you, I'm neck deep in the electric universe, and that's why I don't talk about it much in public. If I had my water bottle back here, I even have an electric universe squatty man on my water bottle. I think it's the most legitimate explanation for the end of the Ice Age and the consistent narratives that appear on every continent simultaneously, as well as the changing of calendars, as well as why in Göbekli Tepe, for example, there's all these different areas where they're tracking new stars. Well, because they had just learned how to track stars. They'd never seen them before. So there's a lot to it. Yeah. BS Petty, if you're on the electric universe train, you and I probably think a lot alike. If you've ever been to this website, SaturnianCosmology.org, you're gonna get lost. You'll get lost. I wish I was able to donate more. Well, thank you, W. I appreciate that. What you're doing for the citizens of this country, in my opinion, is a W. Oh, thank you. You do better investigative journalism than billion-dollar conglomerates. I watch every live. I don't think it's because they can't. I think it's because they won't, because they want to remain billion-dollar conglomerates and not be in the loony bin. And that's what will happen, ultimately. Call signs on CH Body Flight. Mikey had VPs. On CH Body Flight. Mikey did have the VP's number. That's what you're asking. Mikey had Vice President Vance's number. I mean, that's the story. Call signs on the Kirk Body Flight. That was a 000. That was a 000. I could probably prove it here real quick. But I did look that up. That left Phoenix, right? At the next day? No, it left Salt Lake the next day. I could probably prove it. Departures. Hold, please. Earlier flights. September, is it 11 or 12? Hold, please. Hold, please. I don't want to bore you guys to tears. I'll find it and send it to you. Or I'll find it and cover it next time. But it's a great question, and I did look it up at one point. I'm pretty confident it left... It flew from I'm pretty confident it was Salt Lake to, it might have been Ogden, but it's one of those. I've seen it, yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was 000. Good question. Remind me if I don't cover it next time. I'll try to remember. Maybe a dumb question, because you see what plane that was carrying Charlie when he passed and see if, oh, yeah, that, again, I will get to it. This is why I need a producer. They would be looking it up right now, and then I would bring in the producer, and they would show it on the screen, and that producer would say, here's the plane. But I'm small and poor. It's a smaller show. I don't get that treatment. L-Bucks, thank you, Kellyanne. List of flights Candace posted that were of interest to her in Provo, 910. Most of them fly in and out of Las Vegas a lot, like a lot. Yeah. So I have a running list of flights that I think are involved. I'm pretty sure they're involved. Some of them go in and out of St. George a few times. That's where Tyler Robinson allegedly was from. That's where the mysterious cars and people were found. So I have flights going in and out of there. I have flights in and out of Las Vegas, in and out of Provo, flights in and out of Scottsdale, flights in and out of El Paso, flights in and out of somewhere in Central Texas. I want to say Kerrville Municipal, but it might be somewhere else. Somewhere in Central Texas. There, and then the Colorado Springs flight's obviously very suspicious to me. So yeah, there's lots of suspicious flights, and I'm making a running tally, but I'm only going to report what I think is worth reporting. I don't want to report something and say, yeah, this flight seems weird. You guys tell me what you think. Wanda, hey, Baron Wanda here. Regarding the September 9th flight from Colorado Springs, Tucson, Fort Huachuca, I Googled it. What came up was 702 area code for Las Vegas. I didn't know that was the area code for Las Vegas. So the SAM, that's interesting. That's really interesting, actually. The SAM flight numbers are selected per flight. That's interesting. I'll have to look into that. Thank you. Let me take a picture of that. This is my running reminder list to check into stuff. Thank you. Hold on. Verify with Ian. Guy in stairwell is tunnel parking garage, I think, not roof access. Comment on CO Pod. Yesterday claimed BH brother, Brian Harpole's brother, an Army high position. I've not been able to confirm the Harpole brother thing, but there is a guy that looks like him with the name Harpole. Just like there's a guy that looks like Blake Neff with the last name Neff. But I don't know if they're related. I've not been able to draw that to dial that down. I haven't honestly spent the time to dial it down. I probably could prove it if I wanted to. I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff. Given Charlie's supposed direct line to the White House, perhaps JD had a good bit to lose. Palantir can't permit that. They've got way too much invested in JD. Yeah, and you heard Rob McCoy say, God forbid JD, Vance. So the tech bros, JD, and the Israeli bros, at least on a surface, don't appear they're getting along. And there are potentially trillions of dollars to be made in future wars. And Charlie might have turned on JD at some point, or at least wanted to keep him out of the White House. I don't know. We just have to. That's all speculation. But it's an interesting thought exercise. It's pink today. Well, pinkish. I think it's called. What is it called? It looks like mauve up front. I mean, I don't know what it's coming across as with all the weird lighting and everything in here, but if you guys knew this light I had to look at all day for this whole show, you would really feel bad for me. It's called, I think, Worn Crimson or something like that. I said it earlier. $20. Your voices are vital to the public's understanding of what is really going on. Thank you, Jock. And for avoiding feeling hopeless. Erika was their big gun. It failed. Candace, you, Ian, are watched nightly now and in my prayers. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. This show has certainly grown and spread. I think that's a testament to how hungry people are for original reporting on this issue. And not only original reporting, but commentary. I mean, there are a lot of people who aren't doing any original reporting, but are providing valuable commentary. Because we all see things differently. If you provide valuable original commentary, I'm giving you just as much credit as if you like Ian flew to Orem and took a camera. Even Paramount Tactical, the guy that gives me a hard time sometimes, he went out there and built like a 3D model of the place. Are you kidding me? What great work is that? That's original reporting. I give people credit for that. Ian over there checking out where something popped up. He's right. Something popped up right as the gunshot went off. But what that was, who knows? But there's a lot going on. So yeah, people are hungry for it, or this show and others would not be growing. Edge, she's making about the same money and she's doing your job, honey. Making about the same money and is doing your job. We have no indication that y'all can even keep the lies straight. Prove they rocked. Mikey is practically a giddy girl. I'm going to let that comment stand on its own because I don't know that I 100% understand, Edge, what you're saying. Normally a very crystal clear commenter you are, but who is she? I don't like pronouns. You guys know that by now, I hope. When you say she's making about the same money, and she is doing your job, that's a lot of pronouns. Candace is making about the same money, and Candace is doing Erika's job. Is that what we're saying? We meaning the people have no indication. Y'all meaning TV. I agree. You're a good commenter. I always agree with you. Carla here. Hey, Carla. What if Charlie didn't actually go to Korea, et cetera, in the days before 9/10? What if the vacation with Mr. and Mrs. Mikey McCoy wasn't actually a vacation? Where'd they go on vacation again? I think they went to Yellowstone. He went to Korea. There's too much evidence he was there, like actual live video from there. He was 100% there, and he gave speeches that were broadcast over internet. So I believe he was in Korea. The vacation, now here, yeah. The vacation to, I think it was Yellowstone or somewhere, one of those national parks over there. Maybe it was Jackson Hole or somewhere. But that was always a little weird to me. I don't have time tonight to dig into my full thoughts on that, but I do have thoughts. Her Costa Nostra Familia. No, now we're going mobster. Go Max Baron, it's on like Donkey Kong. I was about to make a joke. I'm not going to. No crying in baseball, but all gloves are off. Haha. I always go with my gut. Knew Erika was off. Love you. I love you too. Thank you. She wants to tell you to stop. Now you pulled evidence. No one knew y'all would find. Yes, y'all are all over the target. I'm so sick. I don't want to believe this. Yeah, that's the problem. And this is why I opened with she wants to have her cake and eat it too. Or that's how I describe it. She wanted the credit for saying, go, have fun, find what you'll never. I think they were so confident that nothing would ever be discovered. They don't understand the power of you people. Candace wasn't at the meeting. I would have never known to look for these plane flights. It was one of you guys who watches the program who said, you got to talk to my friend. Not this program, but Candace. You got to talk to my friend. Emails Candace. She happens to call her. I would love to interview that guy. She said she's going to try to find a show for that guy to go on. I would do a great job. I'd fly to him, take all my setup. I would keep confidential forever under, I would sign an NDA with him. I'm a lawyer. I've got a lot of secrets. Never let anyone know where I went and do a hell of an interview. But there's a lot of other people who do a good job. But I would love to interview that guy. If I disappear for a week, that's where I am. $20. Thank you, Shell Rose. Keep up the good work, man. House Cracker. Okay, thank you. Gringo Tomato. Love your show. You're a great investigator and funny too. Thank you, whoop-de-doo. That's awfully kind of you. Pool, Fuentes, Erika, shilling the Fed slop. Again, Candace deserves all the credit. I think she's the one that came up with the word Fed slop. It's amazing. It's a great word. And there's a lot of Fed slop eating going on out there. The deadline for Erika to say stop has passed. I agree, Mad World. Thank you, Baron. Don't stop. We Bear Knights. Have your back always. Thank you. I'll need it. Erika Kirk had to call the Charlie Kirk Show family because they are separate under Salem Media Group. They are currently working directly with an Israeli-backed entity. The deal happened around 9/18. Are you serious? The Charlie Kirk Show is now Salem Media? Is that accurate? Is that why they're dropping like a rock? That can't be right. Did they sell off the Charlie Kirk Show? Sure looks like it. I'll check into that. I don't want to waste your time for me looking at that. That's fascinating because Charlie Kirk is an absolute. Salem Media might as well have all their people broadcast from Tel Aviv. My husband of 30 years died 5 years ago. I'm still angry at the location for not getting an AED to him. She's not acting normal. God will judge. Yeah, I'm not here to judge her. I mean, I got a little angry with her earlier, but I think I got angry because I've got 90 days worth of pent-up frustration that just came boiling out all at once. Thank you for the donation. Thank you, Madeline. That's a great donation. Thank you. How can I send you some information about the planes? How can I send you some information about the planes? You can send it twice to realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. That's Baron with one R. Real, R-E-A. Here, I'll put it up. Thank you for the donation, Madeline. Put in the subject line in all caps, Madeline plane information. And here's the email address, realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Pam Simpson, thank you. Generous. My husband was a homicide victim. Unlikely will ever happen. Gave EK every chance as a grieving widow. She lost me today. She lost me today. She lost me today. They all lost me today. Every single person that posted today that Candace should shut up and that all of us should shut up, they've lost me. Every one of them. Miriam Adelson lives in Vegas. It may or may not be related. A lot of people live in Vegas. Erika uses Bible manipulation. God gave us wisdom too. She's talking like a duck. Those fake tears were the only clues needed. Key evidence equals tissue. Yeah. I'm not ready to call her tears fake yet, but yeah, I am. All right. You're easily my top creator of 2025. Thank you, Sparkle, and for the Sparky, for the very generous donation. Thank you. I'm celebrating the end of my first law school semester, and your incredible oratory skill is my inspiration. Wish you a very Merry Christmas. Go back. Can I give you advice? Take every opportunity to speak while in law school in front of people and to write. Those are the only two skills you need when you leave law school. The rest of it's just getting a good enough grades to get a job. You'll pass the bar. You'll be fine. Speak and write. Take every trial class, get on the moot court competition team. I did that. Get on the trial competition team. I didn't do that. I wish I had. There are Toastmaster groups you can get involved in, depending on what college campus you're on, what law school you're at. You can get involved in any opportunity to speak in front of people. Every lawyer at some point is going to have to speak in front of somebody. Even your deepest, darkest grant writing transaction lawyer one day is going to end up in court or have to speak in front of somebody. And if you don't get comfortable with it, you're not going to look very bright. And you might be the smartest person in the room. You might have a 180 IQ and just blow everybody out of the world on logic puzzles and thought and live issues and identifying things. But if you can't speak, you don't get credit. Speak right. Every class you can speak right, speak right, speak right. That's the only thing you got to learn. And research. Learn how to research. Learn how to think that way. But you'll do fine. Good luck. Thank you for the very generous donation. Your pasta eating buddy here. Here the PSYOP is still failing. Tim Pool, Nick Fuentes, and the latest now Erika Kirk asking to stop. What's next has got me nervous. Pray for y'all. Yeah, as I pointed out in the opening, there's always escalation. They never just go away. They're not going to roll over and say, you got us. It was Brian Harpole. He was at the meeting. Oh my gosh. How did you guys find that out? How did you know? That's amazing. They're not going to do that. That's not coming. That will never happen. Yes, Colorado Springs. We didn't think you'd put that together. We thought that was pretty slick. No, that's not coming. That's not coming. What's coming is a even more vicious wave. Batten down the hatches. Y'all better be prepared. You're going to face it. A-Bucks, thank you. Erika's CEO, she's fair game. She's fair game anyway. CEO or not. These planes said it all. Erika's in on it too. Erika asking people to stop the day after this information came out. That's the damning. Don't go back to my law school friend over here. The most valuable thing, I covered that. I buried the lead. Almost more valuable than learning how to speak and learning how to write. Almost more valuable. Right there with those two is learning how to define the key issue and never let go of it. Stay on it like a bone. The key issue here, the key talking point today, what we walk out of here with, and we do not change this issue unless and until new information comes that requires us to get off this issue. Erika Kirk, the day after Brian Harpole supposedly was outed as being at a high-value military meeting the day before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, the day after that news breaks, Erika Kirk tells everyone to stop. That's the issue. That's the only issue. Whether the plane came from Colorado Springs, whether there's any planning up there, we can continue to research that. I don't know the answers. We'll find out. I'm confident we'll find out. But those are the issues. Those are side issues. The issue is Brian Harpole was identified by a witness as being at that meeting. And the very next day after that identification was made, now she says stop. Don't give up on that issue. Don't get sidetracked. They're going to try to drag you down on all these other things. They're going to try to drag you down on Candace's credibility. They're going to drag you down on Ian's credibility. They might drag you down on my credibility. I'm not as big as they are, so maybe they don't even know who I am yet. But they'll drag you down this road. Don't follow them. Why did Erika Kirk, the day after Brian Harpole was allegedly outed as being at a meeting, instead of asking Brian Harpole about it and letting us know that it was false, she tells us to stop looking into it? Why? Has she looked into that issue yet? Every time, no matter what they say, that is your answer. You better be annoying with it. It's 11,141 of you listening to me. Listen good. Listen good. This is what you say to everything they would say to you. Have we figured out whether Brian Harpole was at that meeting yet? Have we gotten, not his word, he's a liar. We proved that in the Sean Ryan interview. He's a liar. He's lost all credibility. The judge would give an instruction and say, if you catch a witness lying, you're free to disregard everything they say. So we can disregard everything he says. We've caught him in a lie. Have we been able to determine whether Brian Harpole was there? Because that's the only key that's left. That's the only thing we still need to know. Was Brian Harpole at that meeting? And when he says they started planning that meeting, or planning the Charlie Kirk event on August 24th, did he go to Colorado? Did he go to Colorado? That's the only other thing I care about, frankly. The only other thing that bothers me right now. And until they can answer those two questions, I'm not stopping. And I don't care what they say. CK was smarter than all TPUSA fools combined. What if he discovered plan, ran with it, faked it, wait for a bit, evil reveals himself, Charlie Kirk and USA, epic win. That did not happen. I appreciate the $20, though. $5, how would you behave if you found out foreign planes were tracking you? Not like this. I'm ambivalent on the foreign planes tracking business. I do think those foreign planes were up to something, and it may have been related to Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk, TPUSA, or something completely other. I think I'm kind of 50-50 on whether they were tracking them or whether the foreign planes were running an op inside the United States that we tripped over and uncovered by mistake. I'm 50-50 on that. But I would want to know the answer. Are these foreign planes tracking me? Yes, I would definitely want to know the answer. 3 nights in a row, you made my evening, sir. I was not live last night, sir. Or ma'am. I was not live last night. But I appreciate you watching whatever it was I put out that you thought was live. Harpole story changed between Sean Reinso and Paramount. I always forget he did that Paramount Tactical interview. Nobody watched it. Suddenly can't remember if he was packing wound before moving to SUV. They knew we saw no wound packing in the video, so why try to sell that lie on Sean Ryan's show to convince us Charlie Kirk is dead? I know that there must be a lot of you who think he's still alive. I'm not among you, but I'm willing to listen to all theories until we've got something definitive. 1,000%, 10,000% trust. That's a lot of trust, man. A lot of trust, sir. Trust Baron, Candace, Tucker, Ian. Oh, I forgot about Tucker. He came out and said something about it today. I should have played that. The best truth diggers who actually represent America and Common Sense Club of USA. Coach Colin, Didi got a podcast. Wolves in Finance are the next layer of investigators. Hey, I credit all of them and more. There's more than that. You've only named a few. You've missed the ones who aren't even on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of them that are doing a great job that aren't on YouTube. I know Brandon and Billy, for example, have a big interview they're lining up with you guys are going to want to see. That's going to have some inside information out of TPUSA. I'll say that. I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, girls. Sorry. But you're going to love it. Go subscribe to their channel. While you're watching, click Brandy and Billy, Brandi. Brandy and Billy Show. Go subscribe. Lord Jesus, thank you for bearing his courage. Keep him and his family safe, physically, mentally, and spiritually. In your name we pray. Amen. Thank you, Curious Joel. I do appreciate that. I was a widow. I could not function for 6 months. Yeah. I've watched my mother grieve over the last couple of years. It's been very difficult. So I've seen grieving. And my stepfather's death was not unexpected. It was known. And the grieving was still pretty rough. Candace is not stopped, and he was 84. I mean, it's not like he was a spring chick. He wasn't 31 with 2 small kids. Candace is not stopping. She's going to do a podcast with the man that was in Huachuca and review pictures of people on stage, planes for him to ID. Yes. I have a feeling that she already knows what he's going to say, and it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait because it's going to blow this whole thing wide open. That boy better hide. And if something happens to Candace, call me. I'd love to interview you. Go Max. Yeah, thank you, Zamet. Zamet does a good job. Zamet's a frequent donor and commenter. So is Angela Moniz. Got to wonder if it's possible if EK is fearful for her life. Could have easily mentioned specific people by name to stop, yet didn't. For real, we all got to pray for all these souls to confess the truth. Yeah, that has been my operating kind of backup plan, that she was just scared for her life, but I don't know after today. I don't know. Brian Harpole lives in Lantana, Texas, which is 285 miles from Kerrville Airport. Who knew Kerrville even had an airport? I did. There's a very large Air Force base in San Antonio, very close to Kerrville. Yeah. Yeah, I knew it. You remember the president flew? Did he fly into Kerrville or he fly into San Antonio and drive over? Or he drove somewhere. I flew somewhere, but he went to Kerrville, I think this summer. July 11th or 12th, 13th, somewhere in there. I'm remembering the presidential calendar off the top of my head, but he was in Kerrville sometime in July. It was when there were floods, the Texas floods. Remember washed the little girls away? It was tragic. Thank you. Also, the witness was questioned by Blake's cousin, who was at that meeting and possibly the leader of it. I have not confirmed that's his cousin, though the name I think Candace said was Adam Neff. I don't know whether they're cousins or not. But whoever questioned him needs, I mean, again, there's an incident report. They screwed that one up. They should just let him go. Stream of the year. Oh, thank you, Gringo Tomato. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's high praise from a tomato. Oh, I think she is well. I'm sick right now. I am at a loss for words. She isn't possible. Oh, you think she's well. She isn't possibly, she's ignoring it. I'm going to follow evidence and pray they are hiding Charlie Kirk. That's the only lie I could forgive. I got bad news for you. I'm a widow going on 5 years. Erika's behavior cannot be explained or understood. This bombshell has me convinced more than ever Charlie Kirk is alive. Let me tell you guys, I don't think he's alive. 95% of me doesn't think he's alive. But the whole, what she revealed today that she plans, I don't know if you guys caught this, but she plans to bury him, I think, on the TPUSA campus or something, like in a mausoleum on the campus. Oh, that's weird. That's weird. If I heard that correctly, it was a Fox News interview and she kind of half mentioned something about it. Put the man in the ground. Super sticker, thank you. Perhaps we shot Charlie for Israel after Charlie turned his back on them. That's why the cover up. We are compromised. The question is why. Yeah, I'll be interested to hear more about that meeting from the guy getting interviewed. Super sticker, thank you. With Charlie, TPUSA was viewed as the cause for Trump's election for future of the same party. We imagine if this shapes out as it seems and incriminates the executive branch, country change forever. You know, we always say that. They killed Vince Foster. They got away with it. The executive branch has killed a lot of people. And they always get away with it. I'm not saying the executive branch did it. Ooh. I'm just using it as an example of murders that took place at the very highest levels, and people got away with it. So why would this one not? I hope we can solve it. It sounds like we're getting close. Bongino posted that he knew something that shocked me down to my core regarding intelligence ops. Erika used the same words in the clip you showed. I'll have to look into that. That's interesting. I hadn't considered that. I never trusted Bongino. I had to make public a private. So let me tell you, when this podcast was small, had like 20 people on it live, 30 people. I got inside information that Bongino was going to get appointed deputy director. So I said it on air, live during the show. I was like, hey, I heard Bongino's going to get this job tomorrow. And then like an hour later, my chat goes crazy. Bah, 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 bah. And when there's only 20 people and your chat's moving at all, it's something big's happening. So I click over there because I catch it out of the corner of my eye. And they're like, Bongino just got appointed. How did you know? I'm like, hey, I know things. I know people. Y'all think I'm just a podcaster to 20 people, but I know stuff. I know things. Gov't has been sus from the start. He reminded us the death penalty was live in Utah. I just didn't have a good vibe from him from the start. Good show. You talking about Governor Cox? Yeah, he's a loon bat. In Fox interview from the beginning of the show, Erika couldn't say judicial, then emphasized judicial. Then cussed and said, pardon my French. I don't think she cussed. She said, what the hell or something. Weird overthinking here. Did she communicate something? No. Dana Carvey, I noticed that when she said it. Dana Carvey had a stand-up special where he made fun of the word judicial system and said that you can't say judicial system without sounding drunk. He's like, judicial system. And that's kind of how she said it today. So I actually laughed the first time I watched it. I was kind of mad at her. I was like, what the hell is she doing? And then when she tripped over judicial system, I have Dana Carvey in the background going, judicial system. And it made me laugh. Go find that bit on YouTube. It's funny. 25 Polish Zayatis. Oh, Polish bucks. Oh, not bucks. Excuse me. Zayatis. Say thank you for speaking up. They can't kill us all. Regards from a fellow Catholic. Well, you have to be Catholic if you're Polish. Huge in Eastern Europe. The Balkans, Albania, now Poland. I am amused when I go into my statistics and look at all the different countries. You'd be surprised how many people from random countries watch this show. But they might be using VPNs, I guess. Thank you for the poll bucks. Or polls, or Odies, or whatever they are. I heard Erika's wearing Masonic rings. I have not seen that. Also, she has righteous anger about podcasters, but forgives Tyler. Do you think turning point, is intentionally acting weird to divert attention elsewhere? I don't know the answer to the last question. I don't think her rings are Masonic. She has a G for Gigi and an M for MacArthur, her son. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they're Masonic. Thank you for the donation, though. Yeah, probably need to put Franklin's scandal on hold. Keep going, Baron. I look forward to your online presence multiple times a week. Yeah, I was thinking of maybe starting 4 shows a week. I might have to do that this week because I've got all the rest of the stuff I was going to cover tonight, and then I got so fired up I didn't cover it. So I might have to get to that tomorrow, and who knows what news is going to break tomorrow. $4.99, Slim. Thank you. $5, Dave Shim. The FBI needs to do is give us 10 seconds. Video. Yep, right. Yep, they need to give us more video. More video. Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Paula. Allison, November 5th, Erika's first public interview with Jesse Waters. She said, I don't even get to give him a kiss. Goodbye. Why such detail? Kiss goodbye. Judas's kiss. That's good. I hadn't considered. Adriana, she's back. Erika's mad at people for asking questions, not trusting TPUSA staff, but she's not mad at Tyler for killing her husband. Yeah, has she forgiven us? She forgave Tyler. Or that man. She never said his name, by the way. She just said that man. I forgive him. Is there a court hearing tomorrow? I don't know. I don't know, Peso lady. It's sad that this conspiracy means nothing. There's a plethora of other topics to get into. It should be hard. It should be hard to have a show like this. Oh, that if this conspiracy means nothing. Yes, exactly. It should be hard. Well, it's not, what do you mean a show like this? I take that personally. Integrated thoughts. I was going to agree with you until you hit me with that slight. You mean informative, entertaining, fun, happy, upbeat, amazing, like Mikey McCoy? There's maybe nothing, but I couldn't help notice Erika's publicity tours lining up perfectly with the release of Charlie's book, Stop in the Name of God. Yeah, I don't think that's an accident. I think that's why she's doing it. Thank you, Lena. Generous donation. Wanda again. Video of Charlie in Asia includes Harpoles both in Korea and Japan. They left Japan on the 7th. Harpole had time to get to the meeting. Video. Yep, I agree. I thought he left on the 6th, but maybe the 7th. I'll allow it. So yeah, he was in the States. The more they tried to defend their actions or lack thereof, the more stupid and guilty they look. Agreed. Retired nurse, Boston Marathon's interesting. Yeah, it is. I've gone neck deep on that. Ooh. Yeah. Well, we could cover that one day. We cover a lot of these. I go through my favorite conspiracies one show at a time. Candace needs to investigate Erika and then breathe fireballs everywhere. I don't think she drinks. Breathe fireballs. She actually promoted Charlie's book after all the money they've made. Can we say cash cow? Look, Erika's going to be worth 9 figures soon. I'm confident. Since Charlie's death, her net worth has quintupled. That's my guess. She was probably worth 12 to 15 million. And I bet she's worth 60 to 75 now and rising. That's just my guess. Just my guess. I have no evidence to support that other than good old-fashioned common sense. I sent you an email about the flights. Thank you. Madeline, I will check it out. Thank you for all you do. You're a great podcast. I sent you an email about the flights thing. Yeah, you said it twice. Thank you. I kid. Thank you, Funny Bunny. Was there questions how fast Cash Patel was in Utah when it happened? I don't think how fast Cash was in Utah, but there were questions how fast the FBI was on the scene. It was like 15 minutes, and they were not there. Like, you have to get word Charlie Kirk's been shot, get up from your seat, find your keys. I don't know if you could hear that jingling back there. Go to your car, let it warm up a second. Let that RPM come down under 1,000. You got to put it in reverse. Wheel that baby out. Ooh, watch the old man crossing the street. Then you got to, caddy turn back into traffic. Then you got to ease that bad boy out. Then you got to 10 and 2 all the way to wherever they were, to Orem. How'd they get there so fast? It's weird to me. I've never understood that. Question for anybody. Charlie Kirk handpicked Candace Owens. Tyler Boyer handpicked the staff. That's the rumor. Tyler handpicked them. That's the rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. Blake Neff was a consultant for Marine Corps War College before he got fired from Fox for his racist comments online. Yeah, I had that story for tonight, and I was going to cover it tomorrow. But, yeah, he'd been a consultant since 2016. Is that right? Yeah, 2016 to 2020. He was a consultant for the Marine War College. Which is, how? We're all in disbelief. As a retired cop, I'm shocked. New subscriber. Great heartfelt commentary. Thank you, Judge. Appreciate that. Judge Shady Court. Mass one. Steelers. Thank you. I noticed a real push on ballistics, but not followed up with trajectory. 0% chance Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk from said location. I'll agree. 100% agree. Did they ever cover substance of Paramount Tactical? You owe it to your followers now that she's going after Erika. Did I ever cover the substance of Paramount Tactical? I don't know what that means. Happy to do it if I could get some additional commentary. Top talking points, turning point. Old habits die hard. They were always talking points to me. Be used by foreigners to influence and manipulate young Americans in the interest of foreign state. Yeah. You're the man. Thank you. You're the man for donating. Thank you. Mr. P.G. Whitaker II. Grok says that Charlie announced he was writing the book about Sabbath on September 5th. Wonder who finished it. Great show. Don't burn out. I won't burn out. I have talked to some professional podcasters in the last week or two about how to fairly go through the supers. I love hearing from you guys. The give and take is actually more fun to me than the whole show. If I could just do an opening and then read supers and just talk to you guys, I would. But I also like covering the news. I also like giving my opinion. But you guys, this is like a second show to me. It's like I'm doing two shows in one night because you guys bring up stuff and it allows me to talk. And I get to go off on rabbit trails. Love your podcast from, I'm going to butcher this French, Montremblant, Quebec. You guys don't pronounce any word. Montremblant, Quebec. I know some Quebecois. Is that how you pronounce that? Quebecois. Lance Stroll is from Quebec, for example. Vid from Peak Prosperity, dated approximately 27 Sept, shows a guy in a red T-shirt, points to like gunman, not Robinson. Approximately CK's 11 o'clock, 56 minutes. I'll have to... You send me that? RealBaronPodcast@gmail.com. I'll forget to look that up. Nick said if Candace produces verified evidence, he'd eat his hat. I asked on X when we could tune in to watch. Since we aren't a-holes, he can use ketchup or mayo. We'll have to see what this guy says. We'll have to see what this guy says. And again, we'll need their cooperation to, and this is why, let me explain how this works. At this point, we don't have subpoena power. I cannot go get Brian Harpole's phone records. I can't get Erika's phone records. I can't get, the vice president's phone records, obviously. I can't get Kash Patel's phone records. I can't get whoever else she identifies at this meeting, whether it's going to be Tyler Boyer, Andrew Gov't, or whoever. I don't know who she's planning to identify, but Mikey McCoy, Rob McCoy. Apparently it was people who were up there eulogizing him. That's what it sounds like. And here's how this works. They know we can't subpoena the records. So if they can convince you guys with enough public pressure to stop asking questions, then they'll never have to produce them to anybody because they know the FBI is not going to ask for them. They know the Utah police isn't going to ask for them. The story goes is that they're in on it, right? That's the allegation. That's the opinion. And so it's only if they can't walk out in public, if they can't make a post on social media, if they can't appear on a radio show, if they can't appear in person without being asked, why haven't you released your phone records? Why haven't you told us where you were? Why haven't you shown travel receipts? Why haven't you shown evidence of where you were on those days? Release the information. And if they can never get away from those questions, then it might have an effect. But if we go away, if we get pressured into going away, it's gone. Candace's video titled Who Benefited around the 12:13 mark, where she shares a picture of a guy that isn't that far off from your plane window guy. I noticed that. You didn't get that past me. I noticed it. I just can only cover so much stuff. Does anyone else think Trump will be replaced by Vance before 2028? His health, mental acuity declining? It's a real possibility. I mean, not a lot of presidents have served 2 full terms. It doesn't happen often. More have served less than have served 2 full terms. Nate is live covering the same topic. He's picking apart the private snuffy that contacted CO. He's saying private snuffy equals stolen valor. Didn't he do that last night? Is he doing the same show again? I mean, the guy may be wrong. You know how you prove he's wrong? Show your records. Show your phone records. And if they can prove they weren't there, if they can show evidence that they were somewhere else, that part of the story goes away. It's easy. Show your hand. What cards are you holding? What cards are you holding? But to call him a fraud before we've seen any evidence. Look, he said there was a high-ranking meeting there, and now we've confirmed there was a high-ranking plane there. And that plane came from the same place that the vice president had just flown a few weeks prior. I mean, it's just, you at least have to ask the questions. The questions must be asked, Nate. And Nate's a good guy. Nate will get there. Nate will get there. But I think he did that show last night. How about old breakneck speed being a former Marine Corps war gamer? Amazing what few games of Risk can do, huh? Yeah, I don't know what Marine Corps war games are. I saw on a... well, I'll cover it tomorrow. I'm not a lawyer, Barron, so you tell us. And I know everything every lawyer knows, so I will answer whatever you ask. At what point do we have enough evidence for a class action or find some other plaintiff to sue on behalf of Charlie, the people versus the FBI? That's not how it works. Only we can't sue under Charlie's estate. That doesn't work that way. You'd have to have a cause of action on your own, and that ain't likely. This may sound crazy, but maybe Dan Flood was fired because he wasn't involved. Probably not just paying to broadcast my thoughts. You're amazing, Baron. Thank you, 3i Atlas. Stefan Burns had a cool 3i Atlas video today. It's 30 minutes. You should watch it if you're into 3i Atlas. And I like Stefan Burns. He's good. I think he's an Electric Universe guy deep down. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he strikes me as one. I don't think that's true because of... bravo, Baron. You're a star. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Marino. That's very kind of you. Just a quarter pounder trying to be a Big Mac, but you, sir, are the man. No, you, Fife Dog. You, Fife Dog, are the man. You also share the name spelled a little differently, but Jim Fife, former play-by-play man for the Auburn Tigers. He passed away tragically in 2003, spring of 03. Thank you. If one of the Huckabees were on a flight, would it still be a Sam flight? Probably if it was the actual ambassador himself, potentially. I don't know. I don't believe he would be a special air mission flight, but maybe. Maybe. Nice job on the content. Can you speak about the one video of the guy lying prone on UVU roof? He was in all black tactical gear. Was this a different guy, not TR, in a different building? No, it was the right building. I don't know whether it was Tyler Robinson. I have my doubts. I don't think it was. I don't want to take the time to pull the video up right now. I think everybody knows what you're talking about. If not, you can look it up. But it's the one video of the actual shooter before the shot was taken. And the guy runs his finger and he said, well, he ran from over there and then he ran over here. And allegedly it was like 30 seconds before the shot was taken. I wish he'd have kept rolling. But yeah, he runs and gets in a prone position. There's no doubt about that. I didn't see him change clothes in the video. Cash. Governor Cox. If that is your... Well, no, maybe not. Maybe this is a distraction from the build-out of Stargate. No one voted for that. 600,000 H-1Bs with talents Americans can't develop. I don't know if it's a distraction, but it's probably welcome. You'll remember shortly before this, the Epstein files were all the rage. Now that has kind of slipped away. Erika and Candace working together behind the scenes to take all down? No. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Taking guesses as to how much they might be charging the public to visit the Charlie Kirk Museum when it's open, guessing $25 a person. That's not that it's a grift. $25 would be very cheap to visit any museum. Most are triple figures. I don't know why they'd be any different. I'm Edie from the Bronx. I know. We've covered this. Just 5'3", thick skin, though. Love your humor, curiosity, and your no BS attitude. Stay real, por favor. I will. I'll do that just for you, Edie Beatty Girl. I'm still going to call you Edie Beatty Girl because it looks like that when it comes up to me. $5. What do you think of Erika saying, excuse my French today? Overkill. Overkill. It's not like she dropped an F-bomb. It's not like she was like, I just wish they would shut the up. She didn't say that. That's not what she said. So that's a little overkill. I mean, I was waiting for a HEW hockey sticks. Always enjoy hearing your podcast. Always enjoy hearing from you, L Bucks. Zish Chiron. Kind regards from Wales. With the dope flag, by the way. With your dragon flag. Another Electric Universe shout out for the dragon. Too much deliberate execution around CJK and God We Trust. Commons Bowerk. The riddle of prehistoric Britain is interesting regarding the Electric Universe. Yeah, there's an Electric Universe connection to Stonehenge. I know that. Something about the number of those little things in the plasma rays. For those of you who have no idea what the Electric Universe is, I'm sure I've lost you tonight. Stay tuned. No, I'm not. Probably not ever going to cover the Electric Universe on the show, but I was asked about it, so I answered it honestly. Stellar, thank you for sharing your findings. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you. And your little golden doodle, too, or whatever that is. An apology and scold super chat. The apologies for starting the Franklin scandal thing. My bad. The scold is misgendering me on your last live. Well, there's a male and a female there, ma'am, sir. Sure. There's a male and a female in your little icon there. And there's Lady Liberty in the middle, which I think Lady Liberty is actually a man. That's a whole rabbit trail to go down, too. I'm pretty sure the Statue of Liberty is a man. Which, isn't it convenient? It's from the French. Masquerading as a woman when it's actually a man. Should we start calling Brigitte Lady Liberty? I'm pretty sure the Statue of Liberty is a man. And I'm pretty sure Brigitte has a little mini Macron. Bear in the pit I feel in my stomach after this live is the same I felt on September 10th. So evil on so many fronts. Well, we don't know that all this is true, but there's a lot of stuff we've got to sort through. A lot of stuff we got to sort through. Ivan is crazy. 20. Baron, thank you. I would suggest a very good firewall and an independent 5G home router. T-Mobile, stay secure. You're the best podcast on YouTube. Is this about my security? So I need to look into this now. Now you're gonna have me buying more stuff. I can get someone to run a stupid wire here because you guys complained it buffers and skips. Now I gotta buy some kind of firewall. You know, not like I'm rolling around in YouTube money over here. I kid. Please read on Candace's timeline. She has August 24th to August 27th, Operation Valhalla. Takes, please, with citizens and military. Yeah, that's interesting in light of the airplane October 25th and 26th. That is interesting. And in light of Brian Harpole saying wow, this is a good comment, Grizzly. I had to pay you $10 for that. This is a good comment. Especially in light of Brian Harpole saying that the planning for the Charlie Kirk event began in earnest on August 24th. So you got August 24th to 27th bookending a flight with a SAM 000 on August 25th and 26th. And Brian Harpole saying the planning began in earnest on August 24th. I'll see you in Valhalla, my Christian brother. My brother in Christ. At the risk of sounding like Sean Ryan, what's a patsy? How do they choose a fall guy? Why doesn't their family or anyone speaking up? I'm confused on how that works. Insight for the naive. Yeah, here's how it works. This is a great question. Most people don't know the answer to this. Most people don't sign up to be a patsy. Typically, you're one of two things. Either you're a very eager beaver and you're a little naive and maybe a little, I don't want to say low IQ, but maybe low IQ in particular situations. And you just get tricked into shooting a gun at a range. Now it's got your DNA on it, right? You get tricked into here. You know, you saw all the pictures from the turkey guy. Remember that episode I did? It was 10 episodes, 20 episodes ago. But the turkey guy, the turkey Tom. And you remember all the stuff they were building all over the house, all the pictures? Yeah. Hey, hold the screwdriver for me, would you? Will you screw that in while I screw this in? And now he's got the DNA on the screwdriver. Now he's got the DNA on the gun. You grab his towel after he gets out of the shower. Now you got his DNA on the towel. And you just walk him into providing all of this evidence. So that's one way to be a patsy. And then you say, hey, we got a group. They're going to take out Charlie Kirk. Look, you're going to get away scot-free. Don't worry about it. The only thing you've got to do is deliver this here and that there. Don't worry about it. He may not have even known that his gun was up there. I don't know. So that would be like one way to deliver a patsy. Another way would be, hey, you see this cheese pizza on your computer? You see it? The candy corn on your computer? Yeah, you can either go to prison for that for the rest of your life and have everyone despise you for that and then get beat up in prison on that. Or, what are you doing on September 10th? I got something you could do for me. You got to keep your mouth shut forever, no matter what happens. But I can promise you, you won't go to prison for the things on your computer. I guarantee you that. That would be way too. That would be way too. Either one of those ways would work. And then they just have a bullpen of potential patsies lined up. And then when they need a patsy, they just go grab one. Hey, where we need one in Utah? Well, I got one in St. George. It's 4 or 5 hours away. We'll get them up here. And then you put the operation in place. Your hoodie color, to my eyes, is bean paste. Just say you hate it, okay? Just say you hate it. You don't have to call it bean paste. Just say, don't ever wear that hoodie again. It's ugly. I hate it. And you wasted $50. You don't have to call it bean paste. My goodness. What if I called something you were wearing bean paste? Great opening argument, per usual. You're becoming a nightly staple. Thank you, Just Say Julie. I appreciate that. Nantucket Red, game-changing show. Thank you. Nantucket Red. I'll allow it. Air Force 2 is under 990004. And when he flew Charlie Kirk back, it was on September 11th. Bountiful Phoenix, and the call sign was Air Force 2, and then it says Reach 2. That'd be interesting if the vice president was on a Reach flight. But I'll double-check all that. I looked it up. I thought I looked it up. I'm pretty sure I looked it up. I will get the answer to you one way or the other in the next show, I promise. We'll pull it up and we'll look at it together. P.S. You mentioned Lyman. I did. Today. Yeah, man to be. Thank you. Erika Kirk says she didn't kiss Charlie Kirk goodbye. It's been driving my wife crazy. Also, your work on Kirk is great. Stay focused. Keep going, Max. But my gosh, Franklin is a wild one. Keep up the good work, sir. I'm going to have to look into this Franklin scandal. But I heard the little bit I read about it was everybody who looked into it died. What are you guys trying to do to me? Stop it. I don't need that. This may be nothing, but something I've always found odd was the sheriff explaining how Tyler Robinson turned himself in. First, why did the sheriff's office even do that when other parts are secretive? Also, this in the story itself is weird. Yeah, the story's weird. The story is weird. I'll look into that. I mean, we can cover that. We could do a section on that one night. I'm not opposed to that. It is weird. It's even weirder that they don't have video of it. Like, you don't have video of Tyler Robinson turning himself in? They deleted the video? Come on. Candace Owens making about the same money and doing what Erika should be doing. Yes. Doing what Erika should be doing. Erika should be investigating her husband's murder. TPUSA isn't rocked. There are no pronouns. Thank you. See Edge? You see how that worked? Comments made while you speak lend to pronouns. EK is fair game. Keep it up. Thank you. Pronouns lead to a lack of precision unless there's a direct antecedent. So if you start a sentence with a pronoun, there is no direct antecedent. So now you've lost precision in your communication. Remember when you discussed McClintock and he fully zoomed in behind the tent under the tunnel, but none of those pics are on the website? Charlie Kirk was already under the tent engaging with the crowd. Ever wonder what he captured? Not only was Charlie Kirk under the tent engaging with the crowd, it was the last question before Charlie Kirk passed away. That's when he zoomed in back there. So whatever I like Charles McClintock Wilson. We've talked off air. I'll just admit it. I haven't admitted that yet, but he and I have talked off air several times. One time for like an hour. And I really did like him. He's a charming guy. But I would like to see those pictures. Trust but verify. I trust, but I would like to verify. So Sergio gets a new job in exchange for calling to tell at CO for looking at Macron's macaron. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, yeah, I forgot we were calling them macarons one show. And then somebody emailed me, was like, you know his name's not Macaron, right? And I'm like, you didn't listen to the whole show, did you? Because you would have known that I knew his name wasn't Macaron. Did you get my email about Charlie Kirk podcast being scrubbed from the World Wide Web with a list of locations they've been scrubbed and where they can still be found? I did. And it's frankly shocking, and we should draw attention to it. People should go save them. There's obviously something in there they don't want people to see. If it was Brian Harpole lookalike at that meeting, isn't there a variety of explainable reasons why that could have been a legitimate above-board meeting that day? Of course there is. Of course there is. Top brass meets in the military. There has, not that I could find, ever been a special air mission flight into that Fort Huachuca. But that doesn't mean it's unheard of. There absolutely could be. But they still should tell us where he was. And the Colorado Springs connection still exists. So that's still shady and needs to be explained, frankly. And the question remains, who else does he recognize from that meeting or from that area that was in that day? Who's the girl? Come on, guys. There's only so many girls. There's only so many girls involved in this story. Who was it? Like, it's Erika Kirk, Eliza McCoy. Name some other women. You can't. I literally cannot. Not that anyone would recognize, not that it was on the stage. Were there any other women on the stage that would have been at that meeting? I can't think of anyone. Surrounded himself around a bunch of men. What can I say? Did I cover that whole thing? Yeah. The video of Charlie Kirk with Megyn Kelly before he died, where he talked about the pressure he was under, talks about writing the book about the Sabbath. Yeah, I understand he's talking about it, but books take time. Books take time. Books take a long time to write. Pretty Girl, Cash's girlfriend, or EK. If EK, maybe to convince him to do Witzek. Yeah, I hadn't considered Cash's girlfriend. We don't talk about her on the program. Talking about her will get you sued. She came out of her shell today to shame people. I saw that. Crawled out from under the rock she was hiding under. Great work adding new info to Candace's info. Yeah, I had that info last night, and I thought about, look, this is how low down I am. I thought about going live today at noon during my lunch hour because I was confident somebody else would have stumbled across that plane, and I already had it. And so I was furiously writing very early this morning, furiously writing the opening so that I could, but you know, those openings take hours to write. So I wasn't able to get it done. But look, that's her story. So I don't mind that she broke the plane. And I thought she was, honestly, I kind of had a little relief because I thought, okay, she's going to do the plane. She's going to do the SAM 000 connection. They're obviously, if she's doing the plane, they obviously looked at the call sign. She's going to see the SAM 000. She's going to know that, or someone on her staff is going to look up and know SAM 000 is the vice president, probably. And then they're going to wonder, what was he doing in Colorado Springs? Why was he on this plane and not his normal plane? And they're going to wonder what's up with Las Vegas. Obviously, that's where Kash Patel lives. And then they're going to make the connection that the only other time it went anywhere else after Colorado Springs was when it went to Fort Huachuca. So they'll bring all the heat, and I can just cover Blake Neff and his wargaming, right? And just cover some other stories I was working on. And it would have gotten me out of having any of that, taking shots for any of that. But then they kind of just they introduced the plane and then didn't really go through the logs all that well. They did mention Pam Bondi was on the flight. They did mention that there were some confirmed Pete Hegseth overlaps with that flight. So obviously he's used it in the past, I think. My opinion. My opinion on Pam Bondi, too. My opinion on J.D. Vance, also. My opinion on Kash Patel. Anybody else I need to my opinion on all of it. But, yeah, but then when they didn't, I thought, okay, now I'm going to get stuck doing this monologue, and it's going to get hairy. So thank you. Good to listen to you again. Listen to Montgomery when you were on the radio. Oh, thank you. I know you, Karen DeLong. I do know you. I think you're my Facebook friend. Or were at one time. Thank you. I appreciate that. You've been around a long time. You've been around a long, long time. Matless, $5. Did Erika mean to say complicit and not complacent with her Harris Faulkner interview? I'd have to go back and listen. I don't know. It's a good question, Matlis. Thank you. Pup treats. Thank you. Only pups. Yeah, my dog felt so hoard out. The things we'll do for $5. I'm willing to show you a little. I can show you some back for $5. You have to really crank it up if you want to see those paws. You once said that Charlie was hiding court stuff, I believe, and you found it, but you didn't want to say what it was. Was it something with Erika? Maybe she had a reason to look away from truth. Just wondering. It was. They have in Arizona. You guys can go find it. I'll say it now because I'm over Erika. After their kids were born, they opened an LLC in the name of their children. So they had like a Genevieve Grace, Kirk LLC, and a MacArthur, whatever his middle name is, LLC. And but it's public record. I'm not saying anything that people don't know. But they opened those LLCs, presumably to start the early process of starting to shield some assets in their names, I would guess. But I don't know. Don't know why they did it. I do know that since he passed, she has patented a lot or trademarked a lot of stuff relative to Charlie Kirk. His signature, some stylized version of his writing, his name. The name Charlie Kirk is now trademarked. You can't use it, not for commercial purposes. You can't use a signature. Can't use any stylized version of his name. So it's she's definitely financially minded. Definitely financially minded. But that's what it was. Thank you, Monster Mom. No coiner. Hey, you stud muffin. Well, guilty as charged. Can you Google search Phoenix Ammunition, Justin Nazaroff, to see if anything from Israel, D.C. Planes went to Detroit. Planes went to Detroit. Oh, you're talking about the Egyptian planes went to Detroit. I can't do it right now. I'm not going to do it, the Nazaroff thing right now, but I might another time. You can do it. Trends.google.com. Just put quotes around it. Find out if Captain Neff is related to Neff from TPUSA. That's the question of the day, or one of them. Candace's informant said the captain that interrogated him was Captain Neff. Yeah, that's one of the questions of the day, certainly. But why did they kill him? Too much power among youth? Why couldn't they just try to discredit him? He was an enemy combatant. I truly believe that. That's how they viewed him. Like Hamas. That's how I view it. I'm disappointed to see PBD not on CO's side. Why? Have you never watched PBD? You don't know where he comes from? Do you not know what his history is? Why would you be surprised he's on the globalist side? Come on. Barron got a bone. New hat. Don't follow them. Another new hat. Don't do a hat that says Barron got a bone. I wouldn't wear that. People think I'm a pervert. Erika said several times Charlie wanted JD to be vice president, and so that is her goal now, or be president. That is her goal now. She said it begs the question, if Charlie Kirk was changing his mind on JD, maybe that's why they wanted to eliminate him. Well, that could be part of it. That could be part of it. There's, like I said, there's trillions of dollars to be made in the next presidential administration. Trillions of dollars. And people kill people over $5. Just keep that in mind. We love it when you say, I don't know if I should say that, and then you say it anyway. Yeah, it happens. It shows you that I have good instincts. Like, I know I shouldn't say it, but it shows you I have bad impulse control. So it's good instinct paired with bad impulse control. That's what you're witnessing. In action. In action. Possible Erika scared for life? Yes. CO helped by verdict? No. Is that a crazy thought? Yes. I've been disappointed in Erika Kirk so far? Yes. Trying to rationalize it? I see. Great job, by the way. Agreed. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you. Thank you, three pretty girls. You talking about your kids, probably, I'm assuming. Valhalla VFT says he doesn't buy the private snuffy scenario. I tuned in for a quick minute, and we'll catch this whole show after yours. I thought he did this show yesterday. I could have sworn he did I don't believe this guy yesterday. Is he doing the same show 2 days in a row? Bad cop. Trust me, it's coming. I got to find the right day for it. I've got it written up. I got to find the right day for it. Can't we purchase the ad data for Harpo's phone? Not that. I mean, you can't give a number and buy that. Those days are past. you can buy group data. Like you could geofence off and get the data, or you could buy data that had pinged a certain area at a certain time frame and buy that. And then you could follow that around and trying to figure out which one's his. And then you could, you know, I mean, but if you can buy someone's ad data directly, I'm not aware of that, and attribute it to that person. I'm not aware of the ability to do that. I've been involved in projects that have bought cell phone data, and that is not something we've done. Look at bandages and blade. Is that a blade? Or a Band-Aid? And makeup on left shoulder in your picture. You showed from McClintock's photo of neck bulge. See brown bandage on neck and shoulder. Even looks like a puncture. All right. I'm intrigued. This every now and then you guys get me. Every now and then you guys get me. All right, here's the bulge picture. Let's do this. Steelers Girl's been a loyal, long time listener to the program. Let's dig in here. What's she seeing? So I don't see any brown makeup, and I don't see any. What else did you say? Bandage. I don't see a brown bandage. I don't see any brown makeup. I see a little failure to manscape right here. I don't see the brown makeup, sister. I wish I did. Sorry. I don't wish I did. That would be totally weird. Throw this whole case into disarray. SAR money. Arr. Pirate dollars. Arr. I'm an Arab and went to college in California, 2014 to 19. Had zero chance to explain my American colleagues the atrocities committed in our lands by the self-claimed, selfless, and helpful American military. Yeah. I would apologize, but I didn't do it. You see why I'm a pacifist. Like, I wonder, what would our standard of living be like? And relative, indexed. And then what would our perception around the globe look like if we just never intervened in these things the last 100 years? Like, let Europe figure it out twice. Let Asia figure it out. I mean, is the coast of China going to be ruled by the Japanese or the Chinese? Let's find out. The Middle East, my goodness. Have you guys ever read, there was a book called The Grand Chessboard by Zbigniew Brzezinski. This is Mika Brzezinski's dad. I think he was a national security advisor for Jimmy Carter. He wrote a book called The Grand Chessboard in the 90s. It explains a lot about what's going on. It's worth a read. New words for 2025, fake and gay, Fed slop, and Fedvidence. Latest interview confirms so much. Y'all been saying thank you. I agree with you on the Fed slop. We got to settle on a spelling, though. I've seen it like 5 different ways. Deception detective. Cox said he changed back into the clothing so that when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting at UVU, meaning videos obviously recorded on different days. I don't know when the videos of him gallivanting around the neighborhood were recorded. I do know the video of the alleged shooter Spider-Maning off the Losi Center. I know when that was filmed. That was the day of the shooting. Can you help us understand why Jay would want Charlie gone? Who's Jay? J.D. Vance? I agree this is big, just don't get it. I don't know. I mean, obsessed, I don't know that I can tell you exactly why. But I have my suspicions. I mean, it could be as simple as like David and Bathsheba. I hate to say that. I mean, that's like option 1. Option 2 might be he feared Charlie's intervention on foreign policy and his ability to rile up millions of people in opposition to J.D. Vance's preferred foreign policy objectives for the next 10 years, 11 years. I don't know. I mean, in 11 years, Charlie Kirk would have been 42. Do you want a 42-year-old Charlie Kirk worth $150 or $200 million coming after you? Because that's what was coming. After today, it seems that Erika Kirk is running cover. Yeah, Money Talks with James Rudder. If you guys need help with your money, follow him. He can keep you from losing money in a down economy. He can help you learn how to get paid to borrow money from your own accounts. It's pretty slick stuff. James is a good guy. It does seem she's running cover. It absolutely seems she's running cover. She said it would be a museum-style memorial. She didn't indicate it would be his grave. Yeah, but she said it in the, I'm not going to pull it back up, but she said it in the context of why he hasn't been buried. Go back and listen. I'm not going to play it again, but go back and listen. She said it in the context of how he got, and why he wasn't buried yet. Canuck Bucks opinion came to me in a dream. Vance was made for the same reason LBJ was made. Continuity of state, capture to be a friend after Trump's out. Yeah, but LBJ allegedly was involved in taking out JFK. So you notice LBJ's not on the wall. I'm a busy mom of young kids. Can't keep up with all my famous streamers. You, Candace, Ian. When I have to pick and choose, I don't have time. I tend to go to yours. Go Max. Well, thank you. But don't forget them. They do a great job. I watch them. I watch just about everything they put out, or 90% of it. I appreciate you, Baron, just like you. I love to research. I find it to be fun. It could be a sickness. Yeah, it's just part of the same reason I wiggle. Same reason you guys are watching me do this the whole show. Ray from London says, do you think that this is an intentionally bungled investigation to distract people from the Epstein files? No, I don't, but I do think it has that incidental effect. They're pushing his book, not the FBI, to find CK's killer. Go Max, thank you, thank you. You're great. Nailed it. I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm trying to cut this show to 3 hours if you wonder why I'm hustling. I got a few more of these to get through, and we got 27 minutes. I'm going to hold myself to a promise. Enrique, thank you. I want a shirt that says huge in the Balkans. That's awesome. Real Baron Podcast, huge in the Balkans. That's true, man. I got Albania on lockdown. Elites use astrology. 3 months is 90 degrees, 910. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Check your email. Subject picture. Better be clean. Better not be one of those people planting dirty pictures on my computer. My computer's pristine, by the way. It's never seen dirty pictures. Don't be the one to ruin it with an email. Okay, crazy though. All right, Steelers girl, you're back. Steve Bannon squares working angle on third term for Trump. If Trump ran as VP, then blame J.D. Vance for CK pop. Trump takes third term. I don't believe the Constitution would allow that, but I understand what they're trying to accomplish. Guys, he's 80. He'll be 83 when he's out of office. Come on. I think he's saying third. Well, look, it's Bannon. How do you forgive an innocent man? He innocent until proven guilty. He wasn't innocent if he showed up intending to be part of a team knowing Charlie Kirk was going to be assassinated. That doesn't make him innocent. Makes him not innocent. But Innocent Man's a good Billy Joel song. An innocent man. Oh, yes, I am. That's a great song. I can't sing. Rob McCoy promoted the book first. Now it's number one. Rolling Stone's released. Why put the microphone in a glass box on display? Evidence. She needs to watch the footage. TPUSA is in her family. What microphone is in a glass box? The one he was holding when he died? Hey, I asked a question about that on Twitter. Why did he grab it and hold on to it? Someone said they gave some Latin word or French word to some kind of response. But then someone else said that's not the response you have with that particular type of injury. It would be the opposite response. That this response would be different, a different type of injury. I'm going to look into that because I have a sneaking suspicion that microphone, the handheld mic, Dan Flood and Terrell both whispered into Charlie Cook's ear about that microphone right before the last questioner came up and right before Charlie Kirk passed away. Just something to think about. Wait, what? Not buried after 3 months? Because everything else happened at Blake Neff's speed. TRS, pavers, memorial, and that man. Yeah. Everything else was fast except getting him in the ground. That's taken a little while. I think you passed my super chat, but here it is again. EK is acting like the mad best friend because she was told by her best friend her husband cheating on her. Erika's acting like the mad best friend because she was told by her best friend. Guys, pronouns, Jesse. Who was told by whom? Who was told by whom? The only thing I got is EK, and then I got a bunch of he's and she's, or she's and hers. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to train you guys on crisp, clear communication at some point. Were there any other Egyptian planes in Colorado Springs on 925? Haven't looked, but that's a good question. I don't think they went to Colorado Springs. I know they went to Denver. I don't think I saw Colorado Springs on there. All tyrannies rule through fraud and force, but once the fraud is exposed, they must rely exclusively on force. That's coming. You notice the COVID-19 didn't, they tried to shame us, and then they started throwing people in jail. And they start banning people from the public sphere. Since we know the people responsible will never admit to this, what happens next? And yes, this is satanic. Well, first we got to prove it. I mean, right now we're just following the lead. There's a lead. There's an alleged guy who claims he saw Brian Harpole at a high-level meeting and may recognize some of the other people from the stage at the memorial service. That's what we know. That's what we have so far. We've raised that as a lead. We were able to confirm that that could be a good lead because there's a very high-level plane on a special air mission in that facility on that day. So we've got those two facts. That, I think, gives us enough corroboration to ask the question, where were you on that day? And I think the burden is on him to prove it at this point. They're trying hard to flip the news cycle, but it hadn't worked yet. Stay loud. Don't stop talking. Thank you for your time and effort. You're awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Pro Design is back. EK, her anger is misplaced. She's more angry for people creating podcasts talking about her family. Doesn't show the same anger and loyalty towards her husband, whom she actually is in a sacramental covenant. That's correct. You've nailed it. I can't add anything to that because it's too perfect. Should I make a bet that Erika remarries a judicial? No, I wouldn't make that bet. No, JD's Catholic. No, I'm just kidding. Flood's arm signal at A&M was a joke after Charlie said he wanted them to get an SEC championship. Correct. Jokingly, Charlie needs to go, hence the smile. But the signal was the signal. That's correct. It was proof beyond a reasonable doubt to me that it was a signal. Or very, definitely beyond, oh gosh, I'm losing my standards here. Whatever the hell the other standard is. The more likely than not standard. The civil standard. It's late, guys. It's late. But yeah, I agree with you. Preponderance of the evidence. That's the word I'm looking for. Rob McCoy has a son named Justin Olson who's adopted. He was the CFO. Charlie replaced him with Justin Strafe just before CK sent Doge letter. I read this on Rob M. profile of his church. Well, we'll be the judge of that. How do you spell Olson with an E? Justin Olson, Rob McCoy. I don't see that anywhere. I would like to confirm that before running with it. I've not heard that, and I've not been able to square that with any profile I've seen. But I'm willing to believe it if I see evidence. Jamie, thank you. Love Funny Baron, but living for Angry Baron. Thank you, Lux. I was afraid I was going to scare you guys. John Anon, $10. Is it a coincidence the posthumous Charlie Kirk book is titled Stop in the Name of God? And there's a new big talking point. And that is a new big talking point. Ooh, stop. John, that's slick, dog. I like that a lot. Enjoy the show from McMinnville, Tennessee. I know where that is. I've been there. William Foltz, thank you. Tony Mac. Toby Mac's a Christian rapper or something, isn't he? How much or what does compromise mean is money secrets, and no matter the secrets of money, I could forgive anything for truth, but the plot to murder must be held accountable. Yeah, we got to hold the murder accountable. You cannot have allegations out there that the government is neutralizing its own citizens in broad daylight. Like at least Vince Foster, they had the courtesy to do it in the dark with no one around. You can't do it in broad daylight. That's JFK stuff. And it's affected this country, really caused damage to this country, just JFK alone. And this one, to me, honestly, seems more damning than the JFK story, believe it or not. Which makes me fear for Tyler Robinson. Candace showed Erika crying over Charlie's body. His hands look incredibly fake and smaller than hers for a 6'4" guy. So is the coffin. So Milo made that point on Twitter not terribly long ago. Or X or whatever the hell they're calling it now, that if you look at their wedding photos, Charlie's hands just swallow Erika's. Like, Charlie had big hands. You know what they say about a guy with big hands? Big gloves. He wore big gloves. And then in the coffin, her hands kind of swallowed whoever's plastic-looking hands those were. So, yeah, I admit, when I read his thing, I thought, well, that doesn't sound right. And I went back and looked, like, ooh, that doesn't look right. Okay, she read it from notes. She transferred herself. She definitely effed it up and addressed it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Look at Vivek's eyes during the press conference about the clothes swap. His eyes tell the obvious story. The eyes never lie. You're talking about not Vivek. He's the... He was in Doge, and now he's going to be governor of Ohio. You're talking about Cash. Yeah, Cash looked terrified while he was telling that story. Like, oh, my gosh, don't say the story. We haven't focus grouped this yet. When you receive a verified plot on your life, pretty sure the 2 reasons that would make you stop are now officially null and void. Awesome show. That's awesome. Thank you. Your Auburn recall, well done. Rod Bramblett's 2013 Iron Bowl kick 6 call is my favorite ever. I appreciate you, sir. Can I let you in on something ludicrousy? I was there for the kick 6. I was there with my sister. It was amazing. They ran right at me. There goes Davis. He was coming down the sideline right at me. I was standing on the, whatever those are, the walkway, the ramps. Because my sister and I showed up at the last second. We had tickets on different sides of the stadium because we just pay $50 to somebody to get in. And he's coming right at me. I'm going crazy. My sister missed it because she went to the bathroom thinking they were going to overtime. And I've never let her live it down. That was 12 years ago. I mention it every time I think about it. One of the greatest plays I've ever seen in my life. I watched it in person. But she was at the Georgia game the week before and saw that miracle at Jordan-Hare. So, does anybody know what happened to the kid who was interrupted, manhandled by the TPUS team members when he's interviewing moments after Charlie Kirk shot? He's still alive. Yeah, he is alive, but I don't think he's gone on the record since. Maybe he has, but I do think he's alive. B&B, Billy and Brandy, I guess, and Brandy and Billy announced on the last podcast they're trying to get Chief Long from UVU Campus Police. They also did part 2 with Charles McClintock. Mentioned you. That was good. I haven't finished it, but I'm 2/3 of the way through it. Yeah, that was a good podcast. Charles McClintock's a fascinating guy. Truly fascinating guy. I still want to see the pictures. Charlie Kirk's parents haven't spoken since Salem runs Charlie Kirk's radio show. Is that why they haven't spoken? They don't like Salem? I haven't heard. It's kind of weird. Maybe they're private people, but it's kind of weird as much as this is dragged on that they haven't said anything. Love my liberty. Thank you. AW C word. We don't tell you about the C word. Please cover the electric universe. I'll pay you $2. You just did. I covered $2 worth of it. Got a long way to go if you want more than that. Valhalla's a green beret. All weird. Ooh, hadn't considered that. Was he in the 10th Special Forces? I'm going to have to check it out. I do like Valhalla, though. Photo of Tyler R. in dorm room image is Valhalla. Photo of Tyler R. in dorm room TV image is Valhalla. Is it really? I hadn't heard that. I'll have to go back and look at that. That's interesting. Just watching from the start now and got me thinking. Props to Matt Stone and Trey Parker. Way ahead of us about J.D. Vance. Yeah. We haven't concluded anything about J.D. Vance yet. We're raising leads. We're counting on the crowd, the hive now to investigate. You also want a VPN. I've got a NordVPN. Obscure your DNS. Set it to 9999. Google. De-Googled phone wouldn't be a bad idea. Holy mackerel. Is it this scary out here in the real world? Can I just go to Apple and get an iPhone? That's terrifying. Emailed you a weird TPUSA website. America Sites? I'll check it out. Where is this Blake Bednar's video that shows Robinson meeting up with a white SUV? It's on X. I'm not sure what you would have to search to get there, but if you search it, you'll find it. It's Tyler Robinson 15 minutes after shooting, parking lot video, surveillance video, CCTV, parking lot. I don't know how you'd search it. I've got it bookmarked somewhere, and I don't know where it is. Has anyone questioned if Valhalla is a location? Valhalla, New York, several other options, remembering they use Truth Amongst Lies. Great show, Baron. Yeah, I don't know what the Valhalla is. It was a signal of some sort. It was the verbal version of that. I just don't know what it means. Thank you for the compliment, and thank you for the donation. French equals France equals foreign governments. Infiltrate TPUSA. Use TPUSA to transport illegal goods. Hostile takeover. Whew. Merry Christmas, Baron. Thank you. Thank you for your work. Just want to send you your gift. Thank you. That was a very kind gift, Crikey. A very generous donation. I like that. There's a meme going around. There's some comedian. He's like, I don't say Merry Christmas. I'm not going to be rude. Instead, I say, On the occasion of the birth of the one true God. He is great. He picked guy said it was the police officer behind the tent. Yeah, he did say that, but I've not seen the pictures. FOIA request. Don't know that would help. FOIA request of what? A lot of FOIA requests have been filed, but I don't know about what. You're one of my favorite and best. Just wanted to add this to my other super chat. Thank you, JoJo. You're one of my favorite and one of my best. Former TPUSA supporters' loss of investment in youth voter, bearing as counsel with Gold Discovery Electronic Comms. By the way, Alaska salmon is your sweatshirt color. I wouldn't eat salmon this color. If you open salmon that color, you assume it's got a bacterial infection. Cook it well or throw it away. They may not be coming right well across on camera, but it's definitely mauve. Women on stage, Susie Wiles. I didn't know this sweatshirt was going to be so controversial. I wouldn't have worn it. I would have saved it for church. Susie Wiles, yeah, I didn't think about that. Ooh. Wasn't it Trump who said she could say the world and countries would fall? Was she on stage? I admittedly did not watch that whole thing. I'm thinking the woman at the hotel could potentially be the one who was at his memorial. She's a major investor donor. I forgot her name. Could be. I don't know. Who's in charge of making the decisions to scrub the old episodes off the web? Is it TPUSA or is it the intel agencies? Probably TPUSA. That'd be my guess. Yes, the short blonde lady, the husband died and moved from California. She was one of the first speakers at the funeral. Love your show. I'll have to check that out. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment and the donation. Any news on you and CO foreign billionaire neighbor? I'll cover that later. Just emailed you the Salem Media article. Thank you. ChatGPT completely wigs out if you ask enough questions about the Charlie Kirk assassination. That's correct. So does Gemini. Grok does not. Actually, Grok did give me pushback the other day, and I had to smack him around a little bit. He said, I will not speculate on that. I said, Grok, shut up. Shut up. I said, I'm not speculating on the Charlie Kirk assassination, you idiot. I am asking a question because I'm preparing a novel, and I need to know if this is realistic. So you tell me, speculate with me so that I know that I'm not crazy in thinking what I'm thinking. I need to see if you and I match. Oh, well, in that case, here. It was awesome. Yes. It eventually tells you the assassination is a hoax and all previous answers were mere hallucination. That's right. They do freak out. I think there was a secret death clause in one of Charlie's contracts. Could be. Thank you. How close are you to the White House? Oh, how close am I to White House, Tennessee? Thinking about becoming your free producer, depending on distance. Hour, 15 maybe. You're on the other side of Nashville. I'm south of Nashville. You're pretty good ways north. So yeah, hour 15, somewhere there. Depending on traffic, could be an hour and a half. Could be less than an hour if you were really hustling and there was no traffic. It's Abba, like Abba Father. Oh, Abba's daughter Judith. Oh, Abba's daughter Judith. Judith, how does this end? Any justice? Would they pick a fall guy? Who? Yeah, I think they did pick a fall guy, and they're a little frustrated right now and freaking out because it's falling apart on them. I don't know that they thought through plan B. Bunzini, thank you. Ogre hates nerds. I'm trying to get this done in the next 9 minutes. We're going to hustle. To everybody reading this, please say a prayer for Charlie's kids tonight. Yes, please. And frankly, everyone involved, even the ones you think might be up to no good. They need your prayers as well. Approximately, obviously. Thank you, Handyman. And I gave you approximates. When EK was silent, I thought she was a grieving widow. She deserved grace and privacy. As soon as she started her media tour, I felt very different. You're not alone. Keep up the great work. I'll do my best. Super sticker. Sonia, thank you. You're like Senator Kennedy. God gave him the right to remain silent, but not the ability. Yeah. There's a great Senator Kennedy story, but I don't have time in 9 minutes to tell it. But it involves offshore drilling. I have concerns for Usha Vance's health and safety. Yeah, you and me both, kid. Charlie Kirk had a lead poisoning. What's your opinion about the death penalty? Just curious due to your background. Vehemently opposed. Could not be more opposed. In all circumstances, even the most horrific. You know, if you're an enemy combatant, like if you're actively waging war against the United States, or you break into a house or whatever, and it's critical to take someone's life in order to preserve innocent life, then that's different. But once you have somebody locked up and, you know, people are safe, throw away the key. You don't have to kill people. I'm vehemently opposed. It's a pro-life position. I'm pro-life from contraception to natural death. Susie Wiles is involved. That's your opinion. Apparently it's shared by others. Susie Wiles is involved. Remember, she was in the room. She was in the room. You might have to expand on that later. Again, your opinion. You missed the brown bandage under his necklace. I don't think I did. I'll look again. Do I have time to look again? I can't look again right now. Let me see if I get through these and have time. Maybe I'll look. Baron, 1R. Yes, that's why they're capitalizing the R. Someone emailed me to tell me. I zoomed in photos of you and blood pouch bandage and makeup punctures already there. Zoom in, bro. I tried. Do me a favor, Steelers girl. You're a very good contributor to this program. Clip it, draw arrows on it, circles, underlines, squares, whatever you need, and send it to me via email. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Sir Majors Dumas, who was told by whom? By whom? Yes, who was told by whom? Oh, you're still marketing. He's a marketing guru. S-Series flights carry top senior U.S. and foreign officials, including secretaries of state, defense, cabinet leaders, and major VIP delegates. Yeah, we covered that. Thank you for the additional confirmation. Did you hear Fuentes last night? If you know, you know. We know. Keep at it, Baron. I did not hear him last night. I don't listen to a ton of Fuentes. I mean, I'll catch clips that show up, but I don't often stop in to listen at length. I did catch part of his Pierce Morgan episode, which I thought was a little reputational rehab for him. The truth is seldom black and white, but a mixture of grays. Those who are polarizing the community are going to be shocked when it's all over. Yeah, we'll see if they're shocked. Did you get my email about TPUSA scrubbing CK's podcast? Yes, I did. Yeah, thank you. Cadaveric spasm, instantaneously stiffening of muscles from extreme physical stress or emotion, right at death, causing firm grip on objects and clenched fists. Yeah, I'll have to pull that out. I emailed the stories to myself. I wasn't sure how well the science would go over on the podcast, but I might go through some of it. I'll try to find a creative way to cover it. Justin Olson's on the old TP website. Yeah, the question, that we don't doubt that. The question is whether he's related to Rob McCoy. I say no. Charlie told Candace he's a time traveler. There was a Charlie Kirk and Erika Kirk in Florida politics years ago. Can we say clones? The neck wound looks very real, though. Yeah, I saw the Candace. I saw the Erika Kirk. That's kind of creepy. After the Fox interview, what are your thoughts about EK final glare at the camera? I'd have to go back and look at it. I don't remember the final glare. I love your work, too. Binge me. Thank you. True Crime Tarot said VP was a shot caller 3 weeks ago. I believe that. It's my initials. One word like awkward. Oh, awkward. I got you. Thank you. Thanks for the explanation. Have we all forgot about the Frazzle Drip video or Anthony Weiner's laptop? No. Anthony Weiner's laptop is a subject of grand, not conspiracy, grand knowledge. The only reason she still uses Brian's security company after he got her husband killed is because he has something on her. Or because he didn't get him killed. He allowed him to be killed. It's an opinion. It's a speculation. I just had to follow up that I love your mauve, a.k.a. bean paste hoodie at the color. Thank you much. Well, now that you've said that, I will allow it. It might be my skin tone. Maybe mauve doesn't look good on redheads. Maybe that's the problem. Or what's left of redheads. 30 years ago, this would be ample evidence. We're so desensitized now. Yeah. 30 years ago, people would have listened to the show tonight and been outraged. Stacey Sheraton is the blonde donor lady. Ah, the blonde donor lady. Yeah, that's a good one. She's gross. My son is cybersec network engineer. Hit me up if you want free help. I probably won't just because I don't know how to find you, but I appreciate the offer. Epstein files would be cool, but what about Anthony's laptop? Yeah, agreed. I'm gonna make this 10 p.m. time limit. Watch me. We must know who killed Charlie. There's so many unanswered questions. Everyone can and should ask questions. Nothing is off limits. TP and I have nothing to hide, said Erika Kirk. Never. Exactly. Thanks for the super sticker. Asia Deboki. The more you know, you realize how much you don't know. Aristotle, great, and thank you for that generous donation. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I mean that. You guys keep this show running. Could the pretty girl be Brigitte? No one that has ever described Brigitte as a pretty girl. Kind of a handsome guy. I can think of a lot of words. I can think of an Aerosmith song. I can think of a song from the Kinks, but I can't think of anyone who has ever described her as a pretty girl. Super sticker, thank you. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Brittany. Guys, you were great. You were wonderful. You were loving. You were kind. We learned a lot today. I hope you learned a lot. And I look forward to seeing you guys. I may be back tomorrow. We'll see how tomorrow goes for me at work. If I won't be back tomorrow, I will be back Friday. Wednesday's kind of the midweek show. Friday's more family hour. It's more family time. It's smaller shows generally. We usually cap out around 3,000 to 6,000 people instead of 10, 11, 12,000. So it's a little more give and take, and usually a little lighter. So I look forward to seeing you either tomorrow and or Friday. And if you need anything, email me. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to like the program, like the show, subscribe to the program, and click notifications, and share it with your buddies. Share it with your buddies. And you can find me on X at realbaronpod. About to start simulcasting, I think, over there as well, or at least putting stuff up maybe the following morning over there for people who like that platform. So if you have any questions, let me know. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. In the meantime, see you tomorrow or Friday.